long, all night. Yeah, probably. I don't know. Anyway, podcast back for another episode. Look who's in the house. It's the Sea Dog, Frankie style. What up, big dog?
Sea Dog?
I don't know. It's been a day.
What's happening?
This is what's happening. Patrick Mahomes Sr. arrested, DWI. We got some more details for you.
Kidoke?
Not great as the son is heading into a Super Bowl. Shane Gillis is going to SNL to host, and the liberals are none too pleased about this.
Are they none too pleased?
None too pleased. King Charles has a cancer diagnosis. There is a, I don't know if you call it a behind the scenes, but one of the filmmaker behind the scenes people. They're writing a book. They produced White Lotus, the new HBO show, and they were on the Sopranos. And there's a new tell-all book coming out, and then it goes into some detail on James Gandolfini's last year. I'll be honest, this is a topic where I stopped reading the piece on it because I feel like we'll go through it together. I don't want to know too much about it before we head into the whole thing. I'll do a little recap on the Grammys from last night, Frankie C, and a blind top 5 to put a whole cherry on top of this little cupcake that we call a podcast. Night long.
On that.
Thank you. I was waiting for somebody to sing back up.
Hey,
sing the harmonies.
Do what I can.
I have a Flicks Picks that I could put out this episode, but I'm going to save it.
I thought that was a Friday thing.
It is. I'm going to save it, but I feel like I could do it right now. I'm kind of juiced about it. I'm very excited about it, but
talk about it. What is it?
No. We'll save it. We'll save it. We'll save it. Patrick Mahomes' dad arrested for driving while under the influence. This was Saturday around 8:00 at night. Word kind of came out yesterday and started to spread around the internet. Not great, as Patrick Mahomes Jr. is heading into the Super Bowl this Sunday over in Las Vegas. We got some more details on what went down exactly. And it turns out that he was driving with a 16-ounce Coors Light can open in the front seat in the center console.
Oh, not supposed to do that. Now, was he drunk, or was it just an open container?
Oh no, they arrested him for driving while intoxicated. DWI.
Okay.
Yeah, this is according to an affidavit that was scooped up by the New York Post from the Smith County Sheriff's Office in Texas.
So what happens now? What's his? Is he still under? Is he in jail, or is it a fine? What happens to him?
Well, he told the police that he had a few beers while watching the game at a local bar. When asked if he was drinking and driving, it's the third DWI for Mahomes.
Come on, man.
Yeah. If convicted, he can get up to 10 years in prison and a $10,000 fine.
Man, 10 years in prison.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but you have to send this man to jail for 10 years. There's no two ways about it. It's his third time, and he's driving around with a beer open in the front seat.
What's the thought process? I don't understand. You go, this is okay. You're Patrick Mahomes Sr. Get a car to drive you home.
Yeah. I don't know if you know this, but Patrick Mahomes Jr. signed a $20,000 billion trillion-dollar contract. Yes, a $500 million contract. He's got all the money. There's no reason for anybody who remotely knows Patrick Mahomes to ever have to drive ever again.
Yeah, if you meet Patrick Mahomes on the street, you get a driver.
You get a driver. That's it. Like Patrick Mahomes,
you get a driver.
Third grade classmate who he never liked has a driver.
Yeah.
His dad shouldn't have to go but this is the problem with pieces of shit. Not a lot of thought process behind a lot of their actions.
Yeah, it's a very I'm going to do what I want kind of a thing.
I mean, think about it. I know this sounds crazy, but hiding it in a water bottle or a cell, or hiding it in a bag. Stop
giving people ideas. Will you stop?
I'm just saying, hiding it shows some sort of remorse. When you just put it in the middle console and you're just driving around with a beer open, you've got a problem that you need to go to jail for. End of story.
Yeah, it's a bit.
Ask any person whose family member, child, grandma, whatever, was killed by a drunk driver. They feel no sympathy for you.
Yeah. I mean, there should be. I don't know what the penalty is right now. Like, is he in jail waiting for trial, or I'm sure he's not behind bars at the moment, right?
I don't believe so. I think he's out on bail.
Oh, he can afford bail, but he can't afford a driver to get him home.
But I mean, he's gonna have to. He's gonna have to. I mean, he's gonna have to. I would just plead. He's gonna probably fight it, but it's just like.
How do you plead not guilty? I mean, the cop caught you red-handed.
I know they always, and he submitted to it the breathalyzer and everything. They always do, though.
What's not guilty about that?
There was a guy who around here. This was a big local story. He hit a kid, a Boy Scout. They were walking on the side of the road. He was drunk. They saw him drinking at a golf course. Like he was done. He had his blood alcohol level. He did the whole thing. He still hired a lawyer.
Well, you need a lawyer.
Pled not guilty. No, but was fighting. Fighting the whole thing in court. It's like, just go to jail. You took this poor kid's life. Yeah. You know, it was a big story around here. We did a lot on it on the local radio station at the time, and I remember just screaming at the top of my lungs on some days because he was so fat. He was just like going into court. Like, you don't deserve any of this. You don't deserve a trial, and you know, you should fucking. I was hoping that somebody would just hit him with a tack hammer in the back of the fucking head every day as he was walking into that courtroom.
What a piece of crap! I mean, how do you not walk in there like you did it? What's not? What is your argument for not guilty? I would love to know what the lawyer or his argument was. Did he go away? Did they get him?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What's your argument? He's probably arguing for less time or whatever they can get.
And they fight for like chain of evidence. Like they try and always go for some sort of legal technicality to, help. Yeah. Fuck the family who lost the child. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just horrible how nobody has any sort of remorse anymore.
Right.
You know, that was what was so refreshing about. I know this is kind of a weird segue, but Louis C.K. Like, at least he was like, I did it, and I'm sorry for it.
And nobody was. I don't even know if it was like, that meme, nobody, and then is this something? It was like nobody, Louis C.K. Hey, I did all this stuff, because I didn't remember anybody accusing him of anything. Right? He just came out and said it.
Yeah, there was a couple of people that
all right,
and they said it, but they were like, yeah, this made us feel uncomfortable. It wasn't like the other ones that were like, this guy stole parts of my soul,
right?
Like the other big stories at the time.
Yeah, they didn't. Nobody. Yeah, he's like, yeah, I did all this. Everybody else is, no, they're making it up and this and that.
Yeah.
Which, hey, if they're making it up, they're obviously fight. But, at least Louis C.K. came right out and was like, yeah, I did what they're saying I did.
Yeah, I did it. I was wrong, and I feel bad for it. And like that, there's no, so this guy, who knows what'll happen to him here, but this whole thing, but I mean, he should get the maximum allowable by law. He should be done for. Jail, 10 years, Man. And he was on the Mets. I don't know if you remember, Pat Mahomes was on the Mets for a while. Like, he was an athlete. Like, there's money there. I don't know if he's got financial issues or whatever, but he seems like a scumbag. Like, he seems like trash I
don't know him from anybody.
Yeah, he's like on the field. He's getting drunk at games. He's like smoking cigars and stuff, like, and not like, hey, we won the Super Bowl, but like, I don't know, just like he doesn't carry himself all that well, if you ask me. Like, your son is maybe Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback ever. There's no denying it. And Patrick Mahomes.
That's easy when you cheat.
As a Giants fan, I'm not going to correct you. Pat Mahomes is like on his heel, like he's at the like, if you look at the arc of where they're going, Pat Mahomes is with him, maybe even better, judging on where they are at the same point in their careers. And it's like, can't you just operate with some class? Can't you be supportive of your son who, was killing himself in these fucking State Farm commercials. He's another one. What are you doing State Farm commercials for? Like, you don't need money ever. Do you need to be that?
Maybe they do. Maybe he's got some kind of weird issue or something. I don't know.
I forget how much he really. I mean, it was close to 500 million. If it was, I mean, it's just
$500 million. That's, what the hell? What is this money everybody's throwing around? What? Just picking $500 million. Okay, you might as well say $1 trillion because nobody. What does that even mean anymore?
I always say this because the owners don't have to disclose what they make. The players, their contracts are out there. If they could pay that guy $500 million, could you imagine how much the owner is making? Think about that.
I can't even imagine. And what's easy to pay $500 million when you charge $20 for a hot dog?
The owner ain't crying. Owner happy as all shit to hand out $500 million, because he knows he's getting it back.
Yeah. That's the truth.
Laura, love the shirt, Anthony. Thank you. This is our merch store, which you can get right now. Link in the description below and at anthonyonair.com. The Viola shirt, very good.
It is available.
So the whole thing is very upsetting. I wish people would just have dignity. I wish Pat Mahomes.
The dignity part. You're right. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Let's say the dignity part is, if Patrick Mahomes came forward and was like, "Yeah, I fucked up. I did it," and these people that I wish more people would be like, "Yeah, I fucking did it." All these people that get accused of shit, like what we were saying before with Louis C.K. and all them. Just fucking, you did it. Let's just go away. That's it.
Yeah.
Just admit it and move on. All these people are like, no, she's making it up. They're making it up. It's like, are they?
Yeah, are they?
You piece of shit.
Jamie, so happy to be here on the live. Finally, we're happy to have you, Jamie.
Happy to have you. Everybody in the chat: Bird, Mercury, Justice, Robin, Laura. Raven, Court McGuire, everybody, we appreciate you being here.
You guys love that name, Court McGuire.
Yeah.
Court McClure.
Hi, I'm Court McGuire. You may remember me from such podcasts as last week.
Is it Court McClure on slide
It's Troy
McClure. Damn, should be Court though. Court's better.
No, you need to watch more cartoons.
Do you know that Pat Mahomes is not allowed to promote beer? Like all NFL players. NFL players cannot promote beers.
Interesting. There's also a rule that they arrived in Vegas, I think, this week. Maybe yesterday or today or something.
Yeah.
And they're not allowed to gamble.
Yeah, that's right.
They're not allowed to do it. I mean, that's rough, but I guess that's not what you're there for.
Kind of hard.
Yeah.
Look, Carrie knows what I'm talking about. Andrew McMorris was the name of the young gentleman who got hit by the car around here. That was a horrific. Terrible. I mean, it was just horrible.
It's fucking terrible.
Horrible. Yeah. Anyway,
Jada Kiss in the chat. Hey, from the UK. How we doing?
Nice. What up, Jada?
42 countries. I can't believe we're live in 42 countries around the world.
It seems like we shouldn't be allowed to be, doesn't it?
I mean, at least half of those countries shouldn't let us.
Like somebody's gonna find out one day and be like, "How did this get by?"
There's a switch somewhere that nobody flipped, and it's allowing this to happen.
Shane Gillis is going back to SNL to host this weekend, Frankie C.
This weekend. Now, he got fired a couple years ago, right? For, I don't remember why.
Yeah, so as the story goes, he was doing stand-up comedy in New York, one of these really, really like unknown. He was very unknown at the time. Like he's big now, and I bet you could still walk up to 5 of your friends and 3 or 4 of them would have no idea who the hell Shane Gillis is. And he's huge.
Barely know who he is.
Yeah, he's big. He's a big deal now. So back then he was even far less known. But SNL was going through one of those transitionary periods where it wasn't working. They got to shake it up. Let's let some of the contracts lapse and let's go and bring in like 4 or 5 new people. And he was one of the people. And then shortly thereafter, the internet. Now, this was, I don't know what the timing was compared to these two things, but this was around the time, because this always happens. All the internet trolls, all the liberals, they dig for shit from people's past. But this was in and around the time that Kevin Hart got hired for the Oscars. And then they dug up all the old homophobic tweets that he had, and he parted with that whole thing. Right. So this was right around that time, and Shane Gillis was doing a podcast, as most struggling comedians are, with his friend, and he had some racially insensitive stuff towards Chinese people.
Got it.
Like, I remember listening to it, and it was like, you know, the old adage of Chinese people switching R's for L's or L's for R's, whatever it is. He was just kind of doing that stuff. Not cutting edge humor, not the worst thing in the world. You know, I mean, there's far worse, not wonderful at the same time, is what it is. So before they could even get him on a stage, he gets fired. Now, in the subsequent years since this has happened, he's told the story that he didn't even want to be on SNL. Like, it wasn't his goal to try for it, attempt to get it. What had happened was his managers at the time were pretty tied into the SNL people. Like, they had a bunch of other clients that were on SNL, and they were like, we can get you an audition for SNL. And he's like, you know, I don't really want to do that. I don't know if you know this, but like, I've had who told me this? I had Colin Jost on, and how it works is they send you like a packet, and then you have to write. So they'll send you a packet with, you know, I don't even know who's on right now.
I can't name any of the people.
Well, Michael Che wants to do a skit about blah blah blah. Write a skit for Michael Che in this scenario, and then you got to sit there and, you know, write it out. And then it's like, you know, oh, this one wants to do, Kate McKinnon wants to do this, and blah 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 blah. Do a sketch with Kate McKinnon and Colin Jost, blah, blah, and you got to just sit there and write it out. And that's how you get to audition or get them to come and see you do stand up or improv, so or whatever.
You have to be, in order to write for them, you have to do stand up, or you can't just be a writer.
You can, but you have to write. You have to write that.
Yeah, but that gets you the opportunity for them to come see you do something.
Right, correct.
Because if you're just a writer and you don't do stand up and you don't do acting or anything,
they can hire you.
Write for them.
Yeah, they can hire you right off of the packet. But if you want to be a performer, you have to write, and then they have to see, and that's the first step. It's not like they just come to see people perform. Except for in this particular instance where he just goes, I'm not writing because I'm not going on SNL. I know that's not my thing. I'm not going to be on SNL. And they were like, no, you could do it. You could do it. You could do it. And then for whatever reason, I think they were going to see somebody else, and they convinced them, hey, stay and see Shane. They stay and see him, and they go, you know what? He is really funny. Come and audition. So he goes on auditions, and he said, you know, even going to audition, he's like, I'm not going to get this. So he went in there like carefree, and they wound up loving him and hiring him. Right. And then so somebody went searching for and believe me when I tell you, Frank, now you know this, we're in the business a long time. I can tell there are a lot of podcasts where there's a gray area. I'm like, I don't know. They might have, you know, 100,000 followers. They might have 30,000. I'm not entirely sure. It's kind of, you know, in there. And then there are some where you can go, I know that this podcast does not get more than 50 downloads an episode. I just know it. And that was his podcast at the time. Like, nobody gave a shit. There was no website for it. Yeah. There was no, you know, the followers on Twitter, I think at the time were like 1,400 followers on Twitter, like minuscule numbers. Like, no, you had to fucking search this shit out to get offended by it. You know, right. He would have had more people listening to him if he opened up his window in Manhattan and screamed out the window. More people would have heard that than that podcast.
That's pretty funny.
So they've all put the pressure on SNL, and of course they had to bow to public pressure, and they wound up firing him. Now, I think Bowen Yang is his name, who was an Asian comic improv, whatever he was at the time. They hire that guy to be like, oh, hey, look, we like Chinese people.
Oh, God.
Don't take it personal. I mean, that guy has Shane Gillis to thank for his career. Now, would he have made it onto SNL anyway? Maybe. Yeah. But he took that moment in time, and they were like, holy shit, we got to hire, you know, an Asian guy. And he was the one who wound up getting it. So I
wonder what this week. Yeah, what this weekend's going to be like. Do you think they'll make fun of? They got to call attention to it. No,
I think they should. Well, you know, it's funny after it happened because I'm on this side of the internet now. This is all over my algorithm, not even on TikTok, on Twitter, on X, people are like bringing up stuff that he said like afterwards. And he said, I will never, ever host. Or he's like, if they ask me to host that show, I'll tell them to go fuck them, or whatever he was saying. And then he eventually said, I'll R. Bud Dwyer that situation. You know who R. Bud Dwyer is?
No.
He was on a live TV broadcast and he offed himself.
God.
Like right on live television. It's a horrific video. I suggest nobody to watch it. But that's what he said. Like that would be his opening monologue.
Yikes.
Like he was joking around, but people are like retweeting this old ass clip now, and they're like, "You think he's gonna?" It's like, no, he's not gonna.
He's not. No.
But it will be fun to joke around with. But I'm seeing the people. I'm seeing like the cancel people, the liberals in this particular case, and they're going crazy. They're like, "Why is he on? He's still an insensitive piece of shit. He said all these horrible things about Chinese people, and now you're hosting him all these years later." And it's like there's never this like you say this all the time about the forgiveness thing, like,
yeah, but there's got to be, in order for that, I'm all for forgiveness, but there's got to be there's got to be remorse first. You can't just forgive someone. You don't just forgive someone.
Yeah,
in my opinion, I guess that doesn't want it. That shows no effort to ask for forgiveness. Who doesn't want to be forgiven.
Yeah, I saw it. Now, have you ever seen his stand up?
Every now and then I'll see a clip on YouTube or something.
His last, I think it was on Netflix. His last special is so wonderfully done. Like, again, there's this thing of like, oh, you can't talk about this topic because you might kind of offend somebody. And for the people that like charge right in there and bring it up and talk about it and do it in a way that's fairly masterfully done is pretty interesting. Like, and so the thing that really won me over with him is he does this whole bit on Down syndrome where he's like, you can't, he talks about people like, oh, you can't bring up Down syndrome on you can't talk about Down syndrome on a comedy show. And he goes, people who say that shit have zero experience with Down syndrome. And he's like, I have Down syndrome in my family, and let me tell you what it's like. And then he goes into this whole bit, and his uncle has it, and he talks about it, and you're laughing hysterically through the whole thing, because the way he positions it is like his uncle's the happiest guy ever. Like he loves life. He enjoys life. He's not ashamed of having Down syndrome. He's not like, don't talk about anything because you might offend me. Like he's like, I have Down syndrome. Like, let's talk about it. Like,
Right.
He talks about him sneaking cheese sandwiches into restaurants. He's like, he sneaks a grilled cheese sandwich into a restaurant in case they don't have grilled cheese on the menu. And he's like sneaking like bites and everything. And his dad's like, I don't know when the fuck he's making these grilled cheese sandwiches. And it's really, it's like, what's the word? Endearing. It's very endearing, and he talks about his dad and, how much his dad is a big Trump guy and how people assume he is by the way he looks, but he's not. He does a great Trump impression too. But he's a very interesting voice, and he's one of those refreshing voices where it's like, oh, this guy can get in there on that line and mix it up a little bit and make everybody feel comfortable about it, and not feel like they're being marginalized at all, which is a really unique ability and a unique talent. So I think it's great that he's done it. I think you need this, because I think the people that feel like we have, because you tell me, but when I hear somebody gets a job, I don't go, let me go to my calendar, let me see how much time I have to see if I could find something on this person.
I don't do. Why? Who does that?
But
there are people who do it for some reason.
Yeah, the world is chock full of them.
People with a lot of time on their hands.
And again, I say this a lot. It used to be the conservative Republicans. It used to be, how dare you say that awful thing? Be a person of God. This is terrible. You should be. It used to be them that were the ones that were out there being politically correct and going, hey, you can't say that. And at some point between Janet Jackson and now, it's flipped over to the other side where the liberals are like, you can't say that. And some of it is like, not talking about this could even be worse. You can't explain that to those people because they don't understand it. Like,
I think talking about stuff is fine. You could talk about it, but it's in a way. I mean,
I think you should be able to joke about
it.
Yeah, you got to be tactful. I think you should be able to joke about it too. But there are people that are like, you can't joke about that. That's like, no, you can't.
Yeah.
You can do it.
It depends on how it is.
Like Chris Stefano has this bit on 9/11, right? 9/11 is the worst day that has happened to all of us collectively in a really long time. His bit is hysterical. You find yourself laughing for 20 minutes through a 9/11 bit. And the reason why it's so endearing and relatable is because it's relatable. We were all on that side of, oh shit. So it's not like we're laughing at the people who died. No. You're laughing at what you did on that day, how you reacted, what what it was like, because you could find common ground, and it's okay to make that connection. In fact, it's important in the healing and moving on process.
Yeah, but I think the problem is when people don't know how to do it in a way that's that has that certain delicate but funny, that endearing way. And there's people that don't know how to do it. They piss someone off, and that's how it gets ruined.
Yeah, and
that's
you're
how
right.
The whole thing happens.
You're right, but then on the other side of that pendulum is the people that are like not even waiting for that. They're like, I'm just going to try and ruin this person because it's something broken in me that I need that for my ego to be like, I took that guy down, or I took that girl down.
It's so weird. I mean, if you see a clip that's fucked up, yeah, all right. But now if you bring it up, and the person in the clip or whatever it is now under fire, the person should, hey, listen, come forward and say, I'm sorry. There was a stupid thing that I shouldn't have done that. And I hope I could be forgiven. I hope I could move on. We could all move on with everything. And I hope I didn't offend too many, I didn't.
What you're saying right now is what I wish my wife would say to me for making me have kids. I'm sorry. What I did was stupid. I shouldn't have said those things. Like, I'll take care of them and it'll be fine. Yeah. It'll be fine is the biggest lie my wife ever told me.
It'll be fine. What are you talking about? We could do this. It's just two of them, two of us. What's the problem?
I stepped in 6-day-old apple juice on the floor the other day. I'm like, this isn't fine. We're not doing fine. Misfit Jester's here has arrived. Thank you. I want to get
time.
I know. I want to get one of these masks that's in Misfit Jester's picture profile there, like one of those like where you got the screen,
digital mask things.
Something's on the screen. Yeah.
So get one. They have them. Amazon or wherever.
We should get like that's what cool like DJs do. This is what we should do, Frank. One day we're just gonna come on with those digital masks, and we're just gonna go like this.
You don't even have to do that anymore. You just press play and it plays a.
Yeah, no, we gotta pretend. They gotta like.
Oh, you gotta pretend. Like,
this is what I love. What they did. They go like this. They go.
And then you gotta wait. All right. Like you're queuing something up. Bull.
The best is on Saved by the Bell when you go to the Zack Attack band episodes and they're like in the recording studio like this. It's like, why are you holding it?
There's nothing on their head. There's no headphones. They're just like this. What are you
doing? What are you doing?
It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. But DJs, I'm sure there are DJs out there that can do crazy, amazing things with music on the spot and whatever. But for the most part, when I see a DJ, I think, all right, this guy put something together at home, brought it to the place, and now they hit play and let everybody listen to it.
Yeah. You still get credit for creating it, and I guess you got to do something while you're there.
It's like the conductor. I mean, the conductor wrote the whole thing, put all this music together, but he's not going to sit backstage while everybody plays. He's got to stand up there and go. Like Jerry Seinfeld, he goes, is there any reason the conductor has to be there other than, and that's it. Once he does that, his job's pretty much over.
He's done. He's just winging it.
Yeah, he's doing this, but they're not looking at him.
Yeah, he's keeping time. Is he?
They know how to play the song. They've played it a million times, and they're listening to each other. There's no conductor standing in front of a band like, you know, Dave Matthews or Metallica going like this.
Yeah.
Because they all play the song together a million times. That's that old Jerry Seinfeld bit. DJ Shenanigans.
Hey, I was a real DJ. Did you ever hate? Do you still get this? Where people go, "Oh, you're on the radio? Do you DJ weddings?" And it's like those are two complete
different jobs.
Although what's interesting is most DJs are paid so piss poorly that they do have that second job of doing weddings.
That's a good point. That's true.
You know, which is kind of like you can't get upset when you get asked that after a while. I guess
it's not the high-paying gig everybody thinks it is.
Yeah.
Oh, well. So Shane Gillis, that's this Saturday, right?
This Saturday,
day before the Super Bowl.
Big spot, I think.
Big spot.
I feel like that's a big, like everybody's like getting ready. You know, Super Bowl. I don't know. I feel like I also feel like we should. This is a dream. I'm going to put this out there for the universe. I would love to do this podcast from the Super Bowl. Because for people who don't know, like a lot of the like sports talk shows and shit go to whatever city they're doing the Super Bowl in, and they'll do their show from like the Super Bowl for like a week. And that seems fun. Like I want to do that once.
I mean, we could put a green screen behind us. And,
we could. Yeah, I know. It doesn't matter, does it?
Nobody's gonna. Who's gonna know? Unless we're interviewing the players or something, or a football hits us in the head. Nobody's gonna know we're not there.
That's always been a dream of mine, and I would love to do it. But here's what spoils it. Now, like even that has been like truncated by marketers, meaning like it was good to do 10 years ago because people were just there to hang out. And
everything gets scooped up by you got to sell it. You just got to have a sponsor. It's got to have this.
That's
who's paying for you to go there? Who's gonna?
Right.
You can't. There's only so many times you could pay for yourself to go to the Super Bowl and be there. I don't know where you're thinking. Where do these people do these shows? Do they do it on the grounds of the Super Bowl? Or do they do it from their hotel or something?
Used to. Sometimes it's like. Now it's like, okay, if they're doing it in the football stadium, they'll rent out the convention center or the arena in the city, and they'll make that Radio Row. Like that'll be the Radio Row place. Some places like Dan Patrick back in the day when DirecTV was like huge. Dan Patrick's show, after he left ESPN, he went to DirecTV, and they used to build him like a set and a half. Like he would have like a whole building to himself.
Yeah, but it's nowhere near the Super Bowl.
It wasn't. Well, but it was close enough that people would come by.
See, I want to be in the press box. It's the only reason. I mean, if I'm not in the press box, then what am I doing at the Super Bowl?
I guess so. But yeah, but they can't have you too close.
Where are we going to be? I mean, we might as well just be outside on our front lawn. I mean, who's going to where are we going to be? Let's say we're in Vegas doing this, this year. Unless we're surrounded by 400, 500 people in a bar, all watching the game, who's going to know that we're not at the Super Bowl? Like, why can't we just go to a bar in our neighborhood and then do?
Yeah,
the
but
same
I don't want to do it on the Super Bowl. I want to do it the week leading up to the Super Bowl.
Why?
Because like people were coming by, hanging out. Like we don't do guests, but it's fun to. Hey, like, listen, this is what I'm saying. Back in the day, it was like, oh, hey, Joe Montana's here. Let's talk to Joe Montana. What was that like when you fucking won the whole thing? It was fun and organic. But now the problem is they're like, hey, Joe Montana's here with Sprite. Tell us about what you're up to there, Joe Montana. And he's like, well, Sprite's delicious. Enter to win, And now it kind of
To be fair, Sprite is delicious.
Yeah, Sprite's pretty good.
But I don't understand I guess my disconnect is, number one, where is that all happening? Why would someone like Joe Montana be walking through Radio Row in the middle of nowhere near the Super Bowl a week earlier?
They're paying him.
That's true.
Back in the day, though, it used to be a thing. Like, hey, he was there. He'd get on a bunch of shows, maybe sell his book or whatever he was, whatever he was doing. But now they got to the point where it's like, well, nobody gives a shit about Sprite, but people care about Joe Montana. Let's give Joe Montana $100,000 to walk around the Super Bowl. People will talk to Joe Montana because he's got great stories, and then in the end, they'll be like, oh, enter to win Sprite's contest.
Here's something we should do. We should do our show live and I think this is actually doable sooner than you think. live from Comic-Con.
That would be interesting.
Set up. I'm sure we can set up a table there. There are artists that just set up table. You ever been to Comic-Con?
No, I've always wanted to go though.
It's basically 90% of it is a flea market for comic stuff.
Right.
So that's 90% of it is tables set up with people selling comics or action figures or collectibles and stuff like that. The other 10% is, hey, meet this person, get an autograph. Hey, talk to this, whatever those interactive stuff is. What's it called? Like museum, like stuff that you walk around, you see like movie props and things like that. People in costume. I think it wouldn't be that far fetched for us to go into Manhattan and set up a booth and
probably
literally
get a media pass.
Yeah, that's easy. I've been there 2 or 3 times with a media pass, and it's
when is it?
September, October.
All right. In the live chat right now, would you like to see the show from Comic-Con? Comment too. If you're a replay crew, comment.
Yeah, I mean we go there, we set up a thing, people walking around all around us. We do the show live in the middle of the whole big thing.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. I feel like there's 2 types of people at Comic-Con. There's nerds who really love like the story and the characters. And then I feel like there's sex freaks who just want to dress up in tights and look hot and be like, look how hot I look in tights.
I see.
Men and women. Look at my bulge.
I got you.
Look at my super package.
The other people there are other people there. There are people who like to dress up just because they're like
nerd category. Go ahead.
Is that nerd category?
Yeah, I would put that in nerd category.
I don't know if that's like if
no nerd.
Really
like,
cool.
I
No
like
matter what the costume is and everything.
I like to put on a hemp belt and go to see Dave Matthews. That's nerd activity right there. That is, I like to hacky sack on my way to fucking having a craft beer and the Dave Matthews show. That's a fucking nerd.
That's not nerd. I think you're using nerd as a general.
Nerd is anybody who is like super intensely into something. Like I would call myself
everybody's a nerd.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
All right.
Yes. Everybody has their nerdy tendencies into something. There's nothing wrong with it.
So nerds geek out on things.
If you geek out, you are nerdtastic. Yes.
Okay. It's not a 100%. Negative thing. It's
no.
Okay.
But you've been in the room with me when I've like listen to this part of the Dave Matthews song when they do this fucking thing, and you've been like, the fuck is wrong with you? That's because I can't get enough of it. I'm nerding out on it. I'm geeking out all the way.
Yeah. So let's see. So you go there. There are people behind the booth that are selling their stuff. Okay. Either it's someone who wrote a comic and they got stacks of it and they're selling them, or it's someone who is like an old artist that drew a Batman back in the day and is there signing autographs. There's people walking around that are there to buy collectibles. They're looking for this specific action figure or comic or whatever they are. There's people there that are movie buffs. Like I remember when I went, there was a huge Lord of the Rings display. They had, now when I say life size, you'd have to, I mean, there was the dragon in Lord of the Rings. Smaug. It's a big deal. It was in one of the movies. They had a huge, I would say, you have to suspend disbelief, life-size dragon set up over the whole thing, and it was like it would blink and it would move its head, and it was pretty cool. And then underneath it was all like props from the movie, and they had like I forget the name of the company that made the props, but they had all their shit there, like all the costumes and the swords and stuff.
See, now I think there's 2 types of people. One who's like, I got to get a picture with this thing. It's so cool. And the other that's like, I want to go down on the dragon and see how dangerous this could get.
I'm sure there's a few of those.
Take a guess which camp Chase Abs is in.
Oh boy. Does that mean she's entered the room?
No, she didn't. I just felt the need to slam her.
All right, so let's say Mercury said yes, I'd go. TD Freelancer, that'd be cool. Sarah, it'd make me want to go.
Now this is interesting. This is kind of like we could invite people down to this if they wanted to. Like people who traveled and stay at hotels and shit. Or
when you say we could invite people, we'd have to pay for them to get in.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, not that we'd give away a trip, but I'm just saying, like, if we said we are going to be here, anybody could come and visit.
And yeah, that's true. Yeah, if we're there, we're in the middle of the crowd, and I would spend a fortune buying all my old toys back.
This might be a problem for me too.
Yeah,
there's a lot of wrestling figures there.
Oh, absolutely, they have everything there.
Honestly,
it's a huge flea market of memories, is what it is.
Yeah,
there's old toys, old things that you remember from the 80s and 90s, that you grew up with, 70s, whatever decade you grew up in. They've got toys there from that decade. They've got new stuff, old stuff, comics, and then they have they have stuff set up where it's like at 1 o'clock in this room will be this panel of people, and they'll talk about whatever. So it could be famous people, it could be actors from a show that are talking about their show. It could be a whole bunch of like voice actors from The Simpsons. People sitting on a panel, and you ask them questions, or they do stuff there, and so there's a lot of stuff going on, stuff that you have to look it up, but like you could pay to get into Comic-Con, then you have to like buy a ticket to the
panels,
and stuff.
Well, we go Media Pass. We could probably get some people to come by the booth and stuff like that. What would we do though? Would we go just one day? We just do a day?
I do as much as we can get. I'd go a couple days. I'd dress up if I could too. I don't care.
That would be hysterical. I would love that. Would we do it? Is it like a week or is it like a weekend?
I think it was a weekend when I was last time. It was like a Friday, Saturday. They may do like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday kind of thing. But it's when I went, because you can get different passes for different days. I think I had a Saturday, Sunday pass, and you just go.
Just go for 2 days.
You go for however the pass gets you in.
What would you do? What would we do? Would we do like a 6-hour show, or do you just do like 3 45-minute shows on Saturday and then a couple of, depending on what we could put together?
I'd say we go. We'll see. I think we see how long it is. If it's an all day, thing from like 8 to 8, I don't know how long it goes. We go. We hang out. We set up the table, the booth, put up signs and stuff. We do an hour or two. We take a break, go do stuff, come back, do another hour. Do as much as we can. That's
kind of it. Like you got to go out and get content. You got to go out and do things, and then bring it back.
We could do that. We could do one of us sits at the table, one of us walks around talking to people.
Who's going to tell Janine she can't go? Because we don't have the money to cover a lawsuit right now. Things are tight.
That's true.
Things are tight.
I mean, she'd have to stay in the booth and not move.
A lawsuit or bail. Either one, we're gonna have a little trouble covering at this point. So I don't know. I don't know if we can have her there.
I would love a live from Comic-Con. Anthony on air, live from Comic-Con. I'm sure there are people out there who want to know what Comic-Con is all about and what happens there.
All right, Sarah just spoke to my soul. Do booth reviews. I would love to just walk from booth to
look
booth
at this piece of shit
and judge them. That sounds like so much fun.
You could. Most of it is pretty standard booths. You got a table, a chair, and their merchandise on the table.
Yeah.
A lot of it, though, you get to one booth and it's like, I remember going around and it's just covered, like there's shelves and all these things. It's just covered in like action figures from like the 80s and 90s. It's just, and you're like, holy shit, how does this place not get robbed 24/7? Because there's a million people and it's just surrounded. And there's just everything's out in the open. You could just pick it up and put, it's all, I don't know how it's not more shit isn't just thrown into people's pockets.
Crazy, isn't it?
It's a lot of cool stuff. I've gone a couple times and it's not bad. It's a fun experience. But you got to be into that kind of stuff, I guess.
Yeah, but that's my point about nerd not being a bad thing anymore. Like, who's not into Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, wrestling? Like, that's everybody. It's fucking everybody.
It's not just that. You'll probably see like Apple shit there, and it's all tech stuff comes out, and it's all Marvel stuff. It's a bunch of it's a lot of stuff that's in the pop culture.
What do you think about these new Apple Vision Pro virtual reality things. Have you seen these things?
I've seen them. I think they need to streamline them a little better.
Yeah, I think everybody would agree that this is the first time out. It's very clunky.
It's gonna be
very
clunky.
whatever.
And did you see the thing I sent you? It's The Simpsons predicted it.
Yeah, I saw that. That's crazy.
Isn't that weird? I mean, not a hard one to predict that we'd have goggles on and it's like a virtual reality thing. But I saw the video for this thing. What is it called? The
Apple Vision Pro.
Vision Pro. Okay. You walk around and you're doing this and it's almost like a Minority Report. Remember that with Tom Cruise where he's just moving shit around with his hands, and it's kind of weird. Yeah.
It's amazing. The one I saw, I like MKBHD and I forgot the other girl's name I like. But they're like putting on like a video and they just like put it like so that it looks like a 180-inch screen TV in front of them. And they're just like, wow. Like you can just literally just like put a window there and you're watching it like it's a huge TV.
Wait a minute. What do you mean put a window there?
Like, you know how it's like you're
wearing goggles. Like,
yeah. The difference between most VR headsets and Apple's is more AR than VR, meaning it's augmented reality. So you can
incorporates your world and the virtual world.
Right. So they like you make a hand gesture or like this or whatever, and then all your apps are in front of you. So you could like, pick something and then you could just like put it over here. So I saw a guy, this wasn't MKBHD, this is a different guy had his TV screen, and then underneath it, he put a window with like the NBA stats. And then over here, he put like something else. So he had like 6 screens.
So the TV screen was real, or was it part of his goggles?
Real.
So he had his real TV screen, and he set up all around the TV,
all
the shit that he wanted to access.
And then the other guy literally just opened up a window like you would a YouTube video, and he just made it like this big in front of him so that it literally looked like the biggest TV you'd ever seen in front of him. And he's like looking around and he's like looking over here. He's got his email up. He's like checking email, and then he looks back and there's the game. He's watching the game in 4K. It's in 4K.
So now here's my question. All right. So you're sitting there with the goggles on. You got your big TV here. You got your email or whatever over here. Now, if you get up and walk 10 feet to the right, is your TV still 10 feet back where you left it, or is it come with you?
It's still back where you left it.
That's weird.
It knows where you are, where you've been, and where you want something.
So if I set the TV up in my house and then I go out of my house, I walk around the block and come back, I come in, the TV's still on the wall. And
it's still there.
And can I bring it with me if I wanted?
If you wanted. Yeah, you could certainly move it. Yeah. All
right. So we're getting that. We're going to have to get this thing. It's got to be $1 million though, right? How much does this thing go for?
Oh, $3,500 for the lowest model. I don't know if there's more than one model or difference in battery life or whatever. $3,500.
I mean, I appreciate all the tech that goes into it, and it's probably worth that much. But there's no way that's a little ridiculous.
They say there's 2 bands that come with it. There's one that just goes straight behind your head, and there's another one that goes over the top. So the one that goes behind your head is the one that you see like in all the ads because it looks sleek as fuck. Yeah. But what all the tech nerds are saying is that it's so heavy in the front.
Weighs down on your face. Like
you need to wear the awful looking one so that it's less on your face. Because they say you can't wear it for more than a half hour, 45 minutes, but they boast like a 3-hour battery life because it's got like a little cell phone that it's wired to. That is the battery.
Belt or something.
You put in your belt or your pocket or whatever, but you can plug that in so that's then the power forever. Like you plug it into the wall, that plugs into the battery, and you could watch it forever. But if you're just like walking around with it, it's got like a finite amount of time on it. But I've seen people, I don't know if you've seen this meme yet. There's a guy in a Tesla Cybertruck that is driving itself, and he's wearing the goggles, and he's going like this. He's doing whatever the hell he's doing while the truck's driving itself.
I still don't
trust that fully, right?
I'm sorry. I don't trust the self-driving cars right now, because did you see there's this video of an intersection somewhere in the world? I don't remember where it was, but there were like 20 cars, self-driving cars. No one's in them, and they're all just like crashed into each other, kind of. And they're like they can't move and they can't get out of where they are.
No,
I don't know how that happened, but it's some video. I don't know. I don't know how accurate. It wasn't from a news, so it was just like scrolling around. Someone was like, "Oh, look at this," and there was all these self-driving cars in a row, just like slam, just like not being able to move. So take that with a grain of salt because I can't confirm it was a real thing.
But I've seen people put up videos of like other people, and they're just walking around. They're walking around with these things, just walking around.
Yeah, in the ad, I think it's the ad. It's either the ad or just a video about it or whatever, about the goggles. There's a guy sitting on the subway, and he's doing this in the air, and he's typing. He's got the goggles, and he's doing this. He's typing whatever the fuck he's typing. You can't see anything, but he's, and he's just surrounded by people, and he's just doing this. Hey, if it works, as long as if they can make it lighter and not so bulky and ridiculous, I'm sure that'll 5 years from now.
Well, that's the thing. How long? How long? Because whenever stuff used to come out, we'd be like, oh my God, in 10 years, 15 years, this is going to be amazing. It might be 3 now, I mean, who knows?
Well, I guess the big thing is because you want the goggles to be goggles. It can't be if it's smaller, it's not going to be as effective. It won't be as all encompassing as if it's glasses, like my glasses, it wouldn't be as
right,
all involved. But lighter, I guess, would be the big complaint, right? Everybody thinks they're too heavy.
Yeah, because everything is like super high quality, and there's fans in there to cool it, and all this kind of. So it gets pretty heavy, on your face, but kind of light when you think about it. I mean,
considering what all the shit it can do.
With all the shit that it can do, people are like, it's crazy, and they're like. I mean, I think it's going to kill TVs because why would you spend all this money on a TV?
Well, look at the Google. What was it? Google Glass or something that didn't last at all.
No, because it's not. It's going to take a while. It really is going to take a while. But I really legitimately, not to sound like a crazy person, fear a world where it's Ready Player One and everybody's just living. Because I think that they can make that to be so. Like if you think about it, people who get depressed and sad, excuse me, a lot of that is the mundane of life, like the mundaneness of life. A lot of it is other things too, but I feel like almost everybody can be depressed by routine, like, I mean, when you boil down to it, it's why we watch podcasts. It's why we read books. It's why we watch film,
escapes.
TV. They're all escapes.
Yeah.
Right. We all love to escape our lives and be in somebody else's story for a little while. And whether that's reading or podcasting or film, if you have the ability to access that all the time, and it'd be like those old books. Remember where you go to page 32 if you want to go right, go to page 47 if you want to go left here.
Choose your own adventure. I love those books.
Imagine having choose your own adventure on tap in unbelievable 4K. Feels like real life. How can you turn that down?
People are gonna, it's gonna come out like that. But I feel like the direction this thing is going is that it's a combination of both. So when you're saying Ready Player One, that person was sitting in a chair, not moving, and doing everything in the goggles.
Right.
This seems like it's augmented, meaning you go out in your life, in your world, and
correct.
Everything's kind of coming with you.
And I think it stays both for a while until you find that one killer app or whatever that builds that world that people. Same way we all rush to Facebook, right, to connect.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever's going to build the virtual reality Facebook, which probably will be Facebook, and that you're literally virtually walking around to places and you're able to fix that nose of yours and, shave a couple of pounds off your jowls and put a couple extra muscles on there, walk around that virtual reality world. Who's not going to want to take that shortcut? Who's not going to want to shrink their ears down a little bit? Some of these are getting personal for me, but point is, take some hair off the arms, whatever it is. Who's not going to want? That's too tempting.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird. You're gonna have to incorporate it into a generation that's gonna be only familiar with that, because if you do it now, we're not going to change our lives to do that. Do you know what I mean? I don't think we're going to abandon everything we do in order to just sit in a chair. Yeah. Right.
Agree.
The next generation, probably not, because they're already, I don't think, maybe the generation after that isn't around yet.
TD Freelancer, how would Apple Vision VR sex work? That's what everybody is wondering, because
I think that's the goal.
Whatever the technology is, phone, internet, like you painting on the cave walls, you name it, 3 seconds after we're like, how can we
incorporate some kind of pornography into this? Guys, anybody? Yeah, whatever it is, doesn't matter. There's never a new invention where people don't go, and I go, oh, Anderson in the back? Yeah, how do we use this for sex? That's because that's where it's going.
The first person who figured out I could use these things and we could make colors on the cave wall. And somebody's like, that's amazing. Draw a dick.
Draw a dick. You draw a dick. Okay. That lasted 3 seconds. Here you go.
Yeah. So porn made the internet what it is today. It's true. It's the truth. Think about all the commercials. Get online at AOL. You could read the dictionary and the encyclopedia. It's all in one place, and people are like, "That's really interesting." Did you know there's nude pictures on there? We got to get this shit right now. I mean, holy.
No, I read the internet for the articles.
Yeah. There's endless knowledge. What'd you do on the internet yesterday? Oh, I looked at a girl naked. Yeah, it took 45 minutes, but I was stuck with it. I saw her nipples for sure.
Nice. I don't even think. What do we only got through 2 categories so far?
Yeah, we're gonna zip through these other ones though.
All right, King Charles.
Vision Pro is a fun little bonus topic. Hold on, we have to go back 1 second.
Yeah.
Because we've had some wonderful topics here.
What, in the chat?
Miss Justice, I'd like to go to Crime Con. Aaron C. We had tickets for Crime Con.
We did.
Then came the pandemic.
Right. We were going to go, Aaron and I. It was down in Florida. It was being held in Florida, I believe. Either Florida or they moved it to Louisiana. I can't remember. I think it was Florida. And then, they had to cancel it because of COVID.
Yeah.
So we were going to go.
That might be interested to go to Crime Con because the crime people are crazy. They love that shit.
Yeah, but I don't think this is the podcast for that.
I love to get in there and go like this. There he is. That's the guy. Just yell that out every 20 minutes.
You'd be pounced on and kicked out. It's one of the, I think, I've never been there yet, but from what I understand, it's a more serious event than we might be comfortable with.
So you mean like somebody doesn't get killed in the first 5 minutes, then you got to spend the whole weekend gathering clues?
It's
that'd be a fun game.
Not a murder mystery place. No,
yeah,
it's true crime.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah.
King Charles has cancer, Frankie C.
He does.
Just
prostate,
15 minutes. 15, was it?
I think it's prostate.
Not a good one.
No.
The prostate's tough.
Yeah.
15 months after getting the crown, he's got the cancer.
Yeah, not great.
Got the big casino, Tony. Remember that's how Uncle Junior told Tony.
Yeah, very good.
Mm-hmm.
But that he was, wasn't it? He was in the hospital for a while, and he was getting his pancreas checked. Then he comes out and says, "Yeah, a little cancer going on." Okay.
It was a week after he was discharged from the hospital following treatment for an enlarged prostate. Prince Harry's going to be traveling to the UK, which is good because they haven't gotten along so well. And Harry and William are supposedly still not speaking, but the people are surmising that this is going to get them back together.
Okay.
So I don't know what the insurance plan is over there with the royal family. I would assume it's very good.
Probably.
But prostate cancer is a tough one.
It's a motherfucker. I hope they caught it early. Hopefully.
Could you imagine if his mother was queen for like 97 years and then he gets fucking 20 months before that would be something else.
That'd be fucked up. Hopefully they got it early. I don't know what the They don't say what this, how advanced it is, right?
They don't say how advanced it is, but they do. Sources are saying he's blaming it on black people. He's like, I think one of the black people gave it to me.
Dude, see, you gotta take it just a step too far.
Was that too far? Because
maybe you'll host Saturday Night Live one day.
I'm pretty sure though he was one of those people that are like, how dark's that half black kid you're having gonna be? I'm not sure, but I think he was.
He could have been.
We've got Aaron here with us. What up, Aaron?
Hey. Sorry, I have a theory about this. It's it might not happen, but it's kind of an open secret that King Charles, he inherited it at what, 72, 76? I don't know how old he is, but he doesn't want to see this to the end the way his mother did. He really wants to pass it on to William, but Queen Elizabeth did say the reason she held on to it is because that's what we do. That's what the monarchy is. You don't pass it off when you get old. You hold on to it for as long as, your faculties exist. But my prediction is that he is going to, you notice that it's like, of course everybody deserves medical privacy, but I wonder if he's going to take this cancer diagnosis and be like, William, here are the reins.
Like he'll use it as an excuse to be like, I can't.
I just don't think that he wants. I think that he enjoyed the, when you're in your 70s, it's like, I don't want this job. I wanted it when I was 40. I wanted it when I was 50. Hell, I wanted it when I was 60. But now all the parties are fun, but I don't want to do this.
Yeah, right. Being the prince is way better than being the king. Same for princess and queen. Who wants the big job? You want to be you're there because you get all the spoils. You don't have to do any of the work.
How many days do you think, as king, how many days you got to work? And what is your work? What are you doing? What's the daily? That would be I'm sure there's documentaries about it, but what is the daily routine? What's a day in the life like for the king?
I would love to know that. It's a lot of ceremonious bullshit.
Every day, though? I'm sure there's stuff, once a week maybe or here and there.
Yeah.
But, I'm sure there is a week where he's doing nothing and just sitting behind a desk or just walking around the palace or something.
Erin's more intelligent. I should probably let her answer. But I think it's like a lot like being president, too. Like, yeah, it's policy and all that kind of stuff. But even the president of the United States has to make a lot of bullshit like, oh, the pilot union's here. Great. How's it going, guys? What can I do? Like,
yeah,
he's got
the president.
He's got
president. I think the president has, I don't know. I'm not sure, but I think the president has more pull than
more power. Yeah, but
power.
It's still like, hey, the Farmers Association of America is here. Do you want to talk to them? Like, oh, great. I can't wait to hear about milking fucking cows and how, we got to fix that fucking problem. Like it's
I'm
never
sure they're
ending.
not surprising them. It's like, oh, hey, I'm sure there's a schedule and, you're meeting this group of people today at 2:00 or you're meeting that. I'm sure it's not, hey, look who just showed up at our front door. You want to say hi to them? I can't imagine it's that. I'm sure there's a schedule. Like you're meeting a group of people at this time. And then after that, it's 4 hours of playtime. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, probably.
I could be wrong. He could recover. God help him. Please let him recover from this. I don't want any ill to fall on him. And he could ride out this title holding the scepter until the last day. But I just have this weird feeling that, everyone would rally behind the young King William. It would be like this amazing uptick in interest if he became the king of this age. And I'm just seeing this play out. But again, totally welcome people saying that's not going to happen. I get that. And I'll come back later when you need me, but I had to put that in there.
Preach.
Love it.
Yeah, it's a good theory. You never know. Maybe King Charles wants to step down, just pass the reins over. That's a possibility. But
I could see that. I think it's one of those things where like you wait all your life and then when you actually get it, you're like, this kind of sucks.
I remember when I was doing not a lot. Yeah, that was better.
When I was showing up at the opening of car dealerships and everybody was just happy to see me. I don't have to worry about problems or people's bullshit.
Right. No. Well, we'll see. Hopefully, it's not that bad of a diagnosis, and hopefully, he recovers pretty quickly.
Is it weird to say this? I feel like you're going to get mad at me. I don't wish ill on anybody, but yeah, again, I don't wish ill. I'm just okay. If he doesn't stick around, it's fine. Okay, I'm not going to be like, damn, we really missed out on what probably could have been the most prosperous time in human history. I don't think King Charles is capable of such. Yeah, maybe. He's also protecting that pedo brother of his.
Yeah, that's not good. That we could do without.
We did a lot on the Grammys on the podcast page yesterday. It was just kind of one of those things where I always like to do that, but I never really promote it or plan it. It was just kind of like,
yeah, you just. Whatever.
I was like, oh, I have a funny thing for this, and I have a funny. Then just to be able to sit there and make fun of it the whole night was kind of fun, and talk about it in general.
Right.
But
are you skipping James Gandolfini? Is that you?
I'll come back to James Gandolfini. Yeah.
All right.
What was I going to say now?
The Grammys, you're sitting there, you come up with a funny thing, you make fun of it, and this and that.
Fuck.
Do James Gandolfini. We'll get through that quick.
All right. James Gandolfini. I didn't read this, so I don't really know what to expect, but one of the behind the scenes guys writes a book. He was it's called On Locations. Lessons learned from my life on the set with the Sopranos and in the film industry. It's written by...
That is a title and a half.
Yeah. Mark Kameen, who was a location scout on the HBO show and is also a producer on White Lotus. The executive producer on the White Lotus.
All righty.
So that's the big cheese in charge.
So... I know, why is the title James Gandolfini?
Because the headlines from this said book, which is, I believe, not out yet, is all about James Gandolfini's personal demons led to on-set chaos during the final seasons of The Sopranos. That's the headline.
Oh, we'll leave the guy alone.
I'm with you, man. I don't like this one bit, but I was gonna say I don't like it when like behind the scenes guys break ranks and talk shit, because it's like keep that.
We
shit.
heard from the cast. The cast loved him.
They loved him.
He didn't. Did he do anything fucked up? Did he hurt anybody?
Probably not.
Other than that,
the guy held up the show to get a raise, and then once he got the raise, he whacked up the raise amongst all the other cast. He gave it to the other cast members.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, buy the book, buy his book. Don't buy his book, but the book you should buy is Oval.
That's a good point. I would buy Oval. I think you're gonna get more out of Oval than anything else.
Agreed. Thank you, Robin. Put the link in the description in the chat for Oval. Aaron's book Oval for sale on Amazon.
Nice. Click that link. Nice job, Robin. He says, while filming the Pile My episode on location at Monmouth Park in New Jersey, the cast and crew stayed at a hotel near the horse track. Kameen says, I'm at the hotel bar when the crew member closest to Jim asks if I want to go down to Atlantic City with Jim and a few others. It's over an hour away. I decline. The next morning, I'm not surprised when Jim cannot be roused. All right, what's the big deal? The guy goes down to Atlantic City, blows off some fucking steam.
Yeah, and he slept in. Big deal.
Gandolfini eventually showed up 4 hours late and worse for wear, cursing his way through his half-learned lines, doing take after take, drinking coffees and bottles of water, alternatively sheepish and churlish, the way he always is when he's fucked up or when he fucks up. Gandolfini became increasingly unreliable. HBO reportedly added a clause making him responsible for shoot day costs if he misses work due to excessive consumption, according to the book.
That guy had a drinking problem, I guess.
According to Kameen, who later became the executive producer on White Lotus, Gandolfini's problems were fueled, at least in part, by his discomfort with fame. He writes of another day when the crew was told that Gandolfini wouldn't be coming in at all, prompting co-star Edie Falco, who played Carmela Soprano, to say, with more than a little disgust, "Are you kidding me?" I mean, I get that. That shit happens. Yep. The author said he didn't blame Falco for her frustration, as the actress, known for showing up early, always fully prepared, always amazing, and instantly in character. She was nothing but an admirable on-set presence throughout the entire run of the show. But Falco's professionalism seemed to daunt Gandolfini. Jim seems in awe of it and frustrated by her ready access to convincing emotion. Kameen writes, he often gets to set not quite in character, cursing himself mid-scene, calling on the script supervisor to feed him lines. But everyone was willing to put up with the chaos because Gandolfini, more than anyone other than David Chase, who is the show's creator, makes the show what it is. His expressive features and rich readings and menacing, restraining gestures, delivering great and consistent impacts. Sometimes Gandolfini behavior could be heartbreaking. Kameen recalls the actor being at the residence, the show used for Tony's house, and the homeowner striking up a conversation. This is 5 seasons in. Jim has been to the house dozens of times and had many conversations with the man standing in front of him. Jim interrupts him to say, with more than a little regret, I'm really sorry, but my memory is kind of shot and I don't remember who are you. Ouch.
Yeah.
The owner was hurt and Kameen was shocked, writing, to have no clue who the owner of the Sopranos house is gave me a glimpse into the extent of his personal struggles. Kameen would make it clear that Gandolfini was beloved on set despite frustrations he could cause. Every Friday night, the actor would have copious amounts of sushi delivered to the set for the entire crew to enjoy. At the end of every season, he would give everyone a significant gift, including gift certificates worth hundreds of dollars. In the final season, he handed out watches engraved with the message, The Sopranos, 1997 to 2007. Rest in peace. Thank you, JG.
That's awesome.
Look, who doesn't have their bullshit at work? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's his stuff going on. I don't know what this guy has got some guts writing about.
Let's say, for instance, Frank, you and I worked with somebody who didn't really show up, then showed up, cursed a lot, was apparently drunk most of the time. Mm-hmm. We wouldn't go talking about that, would we?
No, this is a cash grab for...
Yeah.
No. Stole salads.
She gifted salads, too. You forget, just because she stole them.
Gift certificates for salads.
Yeah, I mean, you got some so the guy, I mean, listen, here's the other thing. Here's the other part of it. This is what drives me crazy. This is what I hate when people are like, Oprah's a bitch, or Ellen's a bitch. It's like, they're carrying the whole fucking thing. Okay. Some people don't handle that as well as other people do.
Yeah, as long as they're not abusive to anybody. And I mean, obviously this seems like maybe the stuff with James Gandolfini was was hurting himself.
Right.
That's not good. But he's not abusing anybody or hurting anybody else. It's
but people forget, he was in, you look at every actor on that show.
Yeah.
There were episodes where some of those actors, you just never see them. He's in every fucking scene for the most part.
Yeah.
With the exception of very few, So it's like the guy has a right to be like, Jesus Christ, and it always wore on him too. Cause if you read interviews with Gandolfini, he's always like, am I hitting a woman today? Am I murdering somebody? He had to really kind of go through those things to get to where he had to get. It can't be a fucking fun thing to do.
No.
Okay, it's acting and everything, but you look at those scenes where the one with who's the super hot girl? Gloria Trillo. I forget her real name. Annabella Sciorri.
Oh, okay.
He toss her around a little. You know what I'm saying? I listen, I know she's landing on a cushion, but it still has to be.
He's got to convince everybody that he's full of rage and fucked up.
Yeah, he's got to grab her and even if it was a stunt double, it's still a person that you're just grabbing and just fucking hauling down to the floor. I would imagine that has its effect on you over the course of a day.
Probably. Did you know that there's a just a weird side note here? I was flipping around on my TV and all the apps and stuff, and there's for some reason there's an hour and a half long blooper show or behind the scenes blooper show of The Sopranos. It's available. I forget what the app is. It's like Freevee or one of these apps that one of these other apps that you don't think to access, and it's like an hour and a half of just behind the scenes shots of The Sopranos. I wanted to text you about it, but I'll look for it. I forget the name of it, but it's like I watched like a good 20 minutes of it, and I was like, all right, that's pretty funny. So there's some funny stuff.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, it's like all like it's behind the scenes shots, and then it's them goofing around and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've seen him on I've seen like long behind the scenes stuff from him or of the show, and I've seen him like punch a car door and shit like that. Like he would get mad at himself and shit like that. But that's like that's what you do, Again, as long as you're not punching like an AD,
right? Yeah.
As long as you're not punching the craft service guy, you know.
Yeah. At the Grammys.
So anyway, but I hate that, and I don't like this either. When people are like, "Oh, the guy's a dick," or even Fallon, we're like, "Fallon's a dick." It's like I'm sorry he doesn't have time to coddle and suck everybody's dick. Like he's trying to host the fucking show,
Is I mean, he's hosting it, but
I'm just saying, it's not easy work to do. I mean,
sure.
you're like, then people are like, he walks past you in the hallway and doesn't even look at you. I'm like, well, I'm sure he's not on his way to a fucking meeting. That's pretty important,
Yeah, it's not everybody's going to be 100% every time. You're going to pass someone in the hall. They might not make eye contact, or they might, give you a stupid, say something, who the hell knows? But yeah, you got to, I guess you take in all your interactions with them. Maybe they had a lot going on that day and they, didn't think to say hi or whatever.
Yeah, we had at the old station, we had one of the beer guys who was so great. I used to have him on the morning show all the time because I loved his beer. He shits on Paul McCartney one morning. Now, little does he know, like behind the scenes, we're working on getting McCartney on the air. So we've been like working all these things. He's like, who's a real jerk is Paul McCartney. I'm like, all right.
Oh boy.
Right? But I would still fight him to this day on it, even though I love him. Dan, what's up? He's like, oh, I knew this guy and he ran into Paul McCartney. He was such a dick to him. And it's like, Paul McCartney's not there to be Paul McCartney all the time to everybody who he comes across. He would never sleep.
Yeah.
Like sometimes Paul McCartney just wants to go swimming in the ocean. Sometimes he just wants to go get a fucking sandwich, like he doesn't want to have to deal with everybody's bullshit, Yeah. Doesn't mean he's not grateful.
Yeah. I mean, he can't be on 24/7.
It's impossible.
No.
That documentary on 9/11. Remember when he did the 9/11 show, the concert for New York City? Yeah. He was like one of the organizers behind that. They tell him to go out. Do you remember this? There was a little documentary on how he did it, like the making of
that.
They go walk around the producers of the documentary. They're like, walk around the block. He's like, this isn't a good idea, and they're like, no, we just want to get some footage of you like on the street, like you got you're determined, and he's like, we can't. He's like, all right, you'll see, and he gets like 15 feet, and he's just getting mobbed, and he's like, we got to get it. Like it can't be done.
Yeah,
he means too much to too many people.
Yeah, he's just a friggin' icon. He can't go, especially in New York or a big populated place. He's gonna get mobbed every time.
Yeah,
no, it's insane.
Grammys last night. I got to tell you, I thought Trevor Noah, outside of one really bad joke in the beginning about rain, it was his first joke. It sucked. After that, I thought he was hysterical.
That's good. I didn't see him. The only thing I saw with him was when he was talking about Meryl Streep, and she happened to walk into the scene.
Yeah, wasn't that great?
That was funny. That was cool.
And he's giving Mark Ronson shit because that's his mother-in-law, and I loved it. So Joe Coy hosts the Golden Globes, and everybody's like, he's mean. We don't like the roasting, And then Trevor Noah comes on and he doesn't like slam anybody. He kind of is like nice about all his jokes. And they're like, it's too nice. It's terrible. Like, it's like, what the fuck?
What do you want?
What do you want? He's doing his monologue, which was a really interesting choice because I don't know if you've seen clips. He wasn't on the stage. In fact, the cameraman had his back to the stage. And he was on the floor about 3 or 4 rows back doing his monologue from where all the musicians sit. It was but it was fine. It's an interesting tip. Like somebody had to have the balls to be like, I think we should do this. And they did it. Great.
Yeah.
So he's doing his monologue. And behind him, just like you just said about, what's her name?
Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep, thank you. Taylor Swift comes walking in. And he goes, Taylor Swift's walking in right now. This is amazing. And it was probably planned, but he goes, you could actually see her lifting up the economy of all the tables around her that she's walking past. Hilarious. Then he tags it with Lionel Richie is now Lionel Wealthy because Taylor just won fun. Like, that's fucking fun. I don't know who wrote that, but that's fucking funny.
That is funny.
To call Lionel Richie Lionel Wealthy.
That's funny. I like
That's fucking great.
I always liked it. When he hosted the Daily Show, he was good. I thought he was good.
You never show.
No, you're a lunatic.
Terrible. The worst thing that happened to him was the pandemic. He couldn't. He stunk without an audience. He was bad. Same with Colbert. Colbert was just bad without an audience. It's just bad. Some guys.
Who was great without an audience was John Oliver.
Yeah,
he didn't miss a beat.
No. Yeah, no, you're right. I don't know what the difference is between those 3 guys we just named, but you could feel it when you're watching them.
Plows through the jokes and he gets them and he hits them every time. But I like Trevor Noah, and what's his name's coming back to the Daily Show.
Jon Stewart.
He's gonna do one night a week.
Which he's gonna come back full time because he lost his Apple gig, and he's gonna be like, I do like doing this.
Yeah.
What's the big deal? But the Grammys, I mean, you could go on our Facebook and whatever.
There's a lot that happened, a lot of big stuff. I didn't realize it was Miley Cyrus's first Grammy.
I didn't realize that either. Yeah,
that was insane. This is the first Grammy she's ever won. How was that possible?
Big, yeah, because she was the Taylor Swift of her era for a while there.
I thought who the hell knew that? I didn't know that. I thought one of the performances of the night was Tracy Chapman and Luke Combs. I watched that like 5 times today, singing Fast Car.
I didn't realize Luke Combs was that fat.
He's a big dude.
He is a big guy. Luke Combs seems to, in my mind, I just picture the skinny guy with the shirt that doesn't go far enough past his jeans, the top of his jeans, and a hat.
Like you picture, who's that guy that does American Idol or something? Blake Shelton every time he
looks like Blake Shelton. Yeah. Okay. That's what I pictured. So when he comes out looking like me, I'm like, oh, look at this guy. I like this guy.
Jelly Roll, a big dude.
Jelly Roll's a big dude.
With a name like Jelly Roll.
I agree. Now, Dua Lipa opened the show.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a funny TikTok about that, about my reaction to Dua Lipa, which I love.
Check that out.
I like putting that together. That was fun. Because she's another one who's like, let's just get a big metal frame.
Ooh, sorry.
And then give me 54 male dancers without shirts on. And I'll just climb around the metal frame like Spider-Man while these guys twirl the metal. They're like, oh, they'll hold the frame. No, they're going to put it on its corner and fucking spin it like a dreidel. Like just
some weird stuff.
Yeah.
Hey,
it's going to be great.
Do something different.
Yeah. So that was good. That was pretty entertaining. And then Tracy Chapman and Luke Combs was like the first, like not opening of the show performance. And they were great.
That was amazing. Tracy Chapman killed it. And even
credit to the producers or director of the Grammys. They start tight on the guitar. So you don't even know it's her really until they start to pan out and you see a hand and you're like, oh, that looks like a black woman's hand. And then she starts singing and you're like, holy shit, it's Tracy Chapman.
Yeah, it was awesome. And she sounded great. Playing the guitar, singing. She was great.
And that's a nice way to pay somebody back too, because that Luke Combs made her a boatload of money off that song.
Oh yeah,
because she gets paid on that. He don't.
I'm sure he gets something. No,
not really. No,
for his version.
His version. No, he doesn't. That's her song. She gets paid.
It is her song, but if you cover it.
No. Well, I mean, he's selling albums and stuff too, right? But everything from that's going back to her. Right. I thought Christina Aguilera was very Ozempic-y.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like huge cans. I don't remember her boobs ever being that big, and just no, because she got chunky for a little while, which I actually liked. I thought she looked better, a little weight on her, a little mom weight, you know. But now she's very thin again, and just really disproportionately large boobs.
Did you ever see her with no makeup?
Maybe.
She looks like a completely different person. You wouldn't even recognize her.
Yeah.
It's so weird. You see her every time you see her on TV, whatever. She's got red, like, fire red lipstick and the makeup, and it's just, but you take off all the makeup, I'm telling you, she looks completely different. It's ridiculous.
I feel like she's that Seinfeld character that looks different in different lighting.
Two-Face.
Two-Face. She's always different looking. Yeah.
Oh, she's a Two-Face. But yeah, check her. Do a Google of Christina Aguilera no makeup. She looks like a different person. It's weird.
Yeah. People coming in saying it was a great show. I thought it was a good show. I was happy to.
Metallica won a Grammy last night.
Did they?
Yeah, best metal performance. Live. I don't know if it was live. I can't remember the exact name, but best metal performance, I think, for 72 seasons. And Robert Trujillo, the bass player, came up and accepted the award.
Nice. Was that on TV though?
Yeah, I think it was.
I don't think it was. I think it was before the show.
Well, there's clips of it, so I don't know if it made it to air, or do they have clips of stuff that wasn't on TV?
A couple. They would show the people backstage with the Grammys during the show.
They showed his speech. He gave a speech.
Yeah, they all do. They do that shit before the show, though. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
So here's a thought that I had.
And
I don't have this all flushed out in my head yet, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Go for it.
Jay-Z goes up there because he gets like the Dr. Dre, I think it's the Lifetime Achievement Award, right?
Okay.
And he brings up the fact that Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff won the first rap Grammy. And they don't go to the Grammys and protest because they're like, this is prejudiced against, black people, African culture, rap, all that stuff, right? So like, I'm not going to the Grammys, fuck it. So they win the first Grammy, they don't go. Fast forward to now, when most of the show is pop, most of it's pop, but they had, like hip hop, all the performers were like hip hop artists and everything like that. Now the rock categories are before the show and they don't make it to TV. So it just kind of shows you this like evolution of, and this is not to marginalize minorities or black people saying that they didn't struggle. That's not what this is. They did, but it's just funny how the market picks what it is. Like,
yeah, they highlight whatever's popular. It's
yeah. Fun. Like Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff were before their time and they should have handled it the way they handled it. Like, they have no issues there. But it's so funny to see how that has just risen in popularity and rock has fallen. And now they're like, we'll put the rock things before the fucking.
We'll do rock next week or something.
Like, there was a time when the rock album was probably in the 90s, right? Where rock album was probably second or third to last award given out.
Probably, yeah. Well, it was like Nirvana and Stone Temple Pilots and all these fucking things.
And now they gave it to Boy Genius, who's a group of three women. I forget who they are. I had one of them on the show, the old show. And it's a folk album. Like, it's a folk album. It's not a rock album.
Well, look at the joke that Mercury made in the chat. I said Metallica won, and she goes, Jethro Tull wasn't nominated. Because Jethro Tull back in the 90s beat out Metallica for best metal album.
That's crazy.
It's like, what the fuck? Everybody was blown away by that. Like, what? I don't understand, but okay.
But this like folk rock thing is out of hand because it's like, give them the folk album. Like, there is a whole folk category.
Right.
Keep that for folk. There's all these bands putting out rock albums, Metallica, like you said, you know, all these things, and like, you know,
There's
people
plenty of
don't
music
consider
for all these different categories.
People don't consider Dave Matthews to be rock, you know.
I do not.
And it's like that he's more rock than what won best rock album for this year, you know.
What
so
best rock album?
The Boy
You think
Genius
Dave
record.
Matthews? You think Dave Matthews is rock?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think he's closer to he's got like a jazz feel or like a.
Very much so.
I wouldn't say rock.
Well, and he had a fiddle player, you know, so it's kind of like, where do you put him? He's got a sax player, he's got a fiddle player, he kind of fits into country, kind of fits into jazz, he kind of fits into all these things. But I say he's rock because you have the three elements of a rock band. You have the drummer, the bass player,
It's a drummer and bass player in every band.
There is, but when those are the three, when that's the driving force, you know, like you can't argue with that. Like, would you consider Billy Joel rock? People call him pop. People go, that ain't a rock guy. I'm like, that's a rock band. He's in a rock band.
Yeah.
That band is driven by drums, piano instead of guitar, and, you know, but still piano, guitar, interchangeable.
Yeah, I guess, but I don't know. I feel like Dave Matthews has got there's a category, indie rock, TD freelancer stuff. There's a different category for Dave for that kind of music.
Alternative rock, people say. Even alternative rock has changed, because alternative rock was Nirvana, Pearl Jam
at the time,
and then it was, you could argue, Dave Matthews and Fish.
Yeah,
and now it's, I mean, now I don't even know what the fuck it is anymore. It's.
I feel like that kind of stuff changes as the music becomes more popular. It's not alternative anymore.
Robin, about Billy Joel, you may be wrong, but you may be right, Anthony. He's good.
Oh, you may be crazy.
He's good. I risked my life putting this out there. That was SZA showing us a little baby bump because she had her pants pulled down a little and her shirt up. She's not.
What do you mean you risked your life?
When you say, is that a baby bump?
Oh, and she's not?
I mean, we risked cancellation last night. I was
no.
caution to the wind.
First of all,
I did.
You risked.
I guess
I didn't post that.
Yeah.
J-Sabs didn't post that.
Good point. It just looked like, here's the picture. I mean, it looks like she's got a little baby bump going on there. Just the way the pants is pulled down in the front.
Yeah,
I thought,
but you don't do that. How do you know?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take that down after the show.
Yeah, take that. Yeah, it's still up. Oh, you dick.
Because nobody has jumped on it. Nobody at all. Billie Eilish performed and she wore the scarf, which I thought one of the funnier lines was, she looked like Louise from Thelma and Louise.
Right, that was good.
Miley Cyrus with her Aquanet hair. I thought that was a good line.
Yeah, her boyfriend had the same kind of hair.
Yes, I can't. That hair is on some guy in a movie. I thought it was first Liar Liar, the guy who Jennifer Tilly cheats on her husband with.
Like the spike.
Yeah, it wasn't him. So I was like, oh, that's not it. There's some oh wait, maybe it's Superman 4. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Oh, the Bizarro Superman?
The electricity guy. Yeah.
I don't know.
It might be Bizarro Superman 4.
That's funny. Erin pointed out to me yesterday that when I showed her Robert Trujillo accepting the award and giving a speech, he did look like Beast from Beauty and the Beast. He has the long hair and he's got the blue jacket with he's dressed kind of like the Beast. From
was he really?
Yeah. Can I show a picture of him or no?
Yeah, you can put it up on your thing.
All right, I'll find him quick.
Annie Lennox did a tribute to Sinead O'Connor. I said she walked on broken glass to get to the stage. I thought that was good. I don't particularly love Annie Lennox, although I know how fucking talented she is.
Oh, sure.
She's like such a huge talent, yet it's like, if somebody's like, Ann, I got front row tickets to Annie Lennox tomorrow night. Do you want to go? I'd be like, no, I don't think I do.
Okay, so here's...
And that's tragic, if you ask me.
This is on the site Loudwire. I don't know who for this image.
The Who put it up?
I don't know who to credit. It's probably it's on Loudwire's site. It looks like.
Yep, he looks like the Beast.
Right?
Yeah, good call.
The blue suit and the
I feel like
trim.
I feel like that lapel is a little bit of a lightning, where he said, "I want to look like the Beast, but make it a little rock and roll." And so some designer was like, "I guess we'll put a lightning bolt on it."
Hey, wait, I got just the thing.
I was upset about Joni Mitchell because I'm like, why are they just wheeling this poor old lady out there? But I thought she did a really nice job singing from the chair.
Listen to it. I have to hear it. I didn't watch that one.
Yeah, she sounded pretty good. And then they brought out, I think, who's the new president of the Academy, and he's like, "Hey, people get shot and die at concerts." I thought it was so like,
dude.
Yeah, he was just like, "Let's not forget all the people that died at concerts." It's like, I don't think you need to do that. I don't know if anybody wants to be reminded.
Yeah, nobody forgets that.
Yeah, let's like have a nice little time here, not worry about that kind of shit. Yeah. Best new artist I thought should have went to Ice Spice or Jelly Roll. I'm a big fan of Jelly Roll.
Jelly Roll is really good,
and I thought he should have won it. Most of the feedback that came from the podcast audience was like, Jelly Roll's too big, and I think that might have cost him, because I think sometimes.
What does that mean? If he's new and he's a big art, that's what makes you the best new artist, right?
I would agree, but I think what happens in that situation is sometimes people get so popular so fast and they kind of become householdy names that people forget you're new. And
well, forget or not, the Grammys shouldn't forget.
Well, but it's people, it's all those people voting,
Yeah.
So, and then finally, I thought Billy Joel fucking slayed it at the end.
Well, it's Billy Joel, baby.
He was so good. That new song of his, have you heard it?
I heard a snippet of it. I haven't heard the whole thing.
It's good. I hate to say this. I like it more than the new Beatles track.
Really?
And I like that track a lot. Yeah.
Now I remember a while ago he said he wasn't writing any more music because he didn't have anything left to say.
Right.
And then
the last 25 years he's been saying, "I'm not writing any more music. Don't come here looking for it."
Yeah, and here it is. Now, does he have an album coming out, or is it just this song?
No, it's a greatest hits, from what I understand. Another great, like, we need a great. We're in the Spotify era.
We know all the greatest hits. We got them.
Yeah, I could be wrong about that, and if I'm wrong, somebody will correct me in the chat. But what aggravated me, and they showed this on the Grammys, some young guy was just like from Long Island, which pisses me off, because this should have been you, Frank. If I could be totally honest, this should have been you.
What?
This young guy is like, he woke up one day and he told his wife, he's like, "I got to write a song with Billy Joel." Now that would get you committed normally.
Right.
And the wife goes, "Okay," and starts working because it's Long Island. This is not that far-fetched. Everybody on Long Island knows somebody who interacts with Billy Joel. You know the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon? It's like 3 degrees of Billy Joel here on Long Island. Like, it's just...
Yeah.
And this guy, like, wife found the doctor of the guy, and then the doctor introduced them, and he said, like, "I'd like to take you out for lunch." And so Billy Joel said, "Okay, we'll go to lunch at this place." And Billy Joel ordered clams and like a turkey sandwich to go. He's like, "Let's get some clams," because that takes 2 seconds to eat. He's like, "Let's get that turkey sand to go," because he didn't want to stick around, I don't think.
Man.
And they wound up hanging out for like 3 hours. And then over the course of 2 years, they wrote this song together. So I don't know who the fuck this guy thinks he is or how he got in that position. He's like, "I got to write a song with Billy Joel." But he actually did it.
What the fuck?
And so he co-wrote. And by the way, outside of like Billy Joel's original band, I don't really recall him inviting other songwriters in to be like, "Can you help me out with this?" I don't really,
Yeah.
They're kind of all written,
all of his own shit.
Yeah. So again, I don't know who this young guy is, but he got Billy Joel to go back into the studio, and yeah,
hey,
I think
good for him. We needed someone to do it, to prod him along.
He said he started doing it, and so he said he started writing it for Adele, because he's like, "I know, I'll write a song. I'll just give it to I'll give it to Adele. She'll, she could, and which is not like, again, if you want to give it to somebody youthful, but who could still do it a Billy Joel kind of way, Adele seems to be that artist with 2 feet in both those worlds."
Okay.
You know. And then he started recording it like as a demo, and then he was like, "Oh, I don't hate my voice on this actually," and that's how it stuck. And he just went with it.
So wait, he recorded his own voice and then showed it to Billy Joel and was like, "I could do this."
No, that was Billy Joel. Billy Joel was like, "Okay."
Billy Joel was like that.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, we kind of got something here. I'll write it out, and I'll give it to Adele or something like that." And then as he was like putting the demo together, he was like, "Oh, I think I actually don't hate my voice on this. I'm gonna keep going here."
Right.
And it's like if you listen to the lyrics of it, like the melody is so interesting. It's nothing that you're hearing today, you know.
Good.
And then like he talks about like these missed opportunities. Clearly it's like a relationship, and it's like, have we gotten to the point where it's too far gone? Can we save it, kind of a thing? And that's where it's like, are we too far in the darkness? Is it too late to turn the lights back on? That kind of shit. And I don't know what it is, but it feels like, again, I don't know if it's just because we live here on Long Island and I'm surrounded by it, but it feels like it's kind of striking a chord with people. Again,
is the studio version out, or you just heard it on the Grammys?
No, the studio version's out.
All right.
Yeah, I heard it on Spotify.
Cool.
But again, I don't know if it's post-pandemic world kind of relationship. I don't know if we're just at the right age with it, Billy. But it's kind of like
it's relevant.
It feels very relevant. Like, is it too late? Can we get it back?
I feel like that. You know what? No offense, but I feel like he could have written that any year, any time, and it's going to be relevant. I feel like a lot of people have that.
Yeah.
How can we bring it all back kind of attitude? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. But it's really interesting. He like apologizes for being wrong and flawed and all this stuff. And, talks about being late, but he's here now. And it's like all those wonderfully Shakespearean issues of mistiming, and if you just tried a little harder, or if you didn't take things for granted. And it's like all that kind of just jammed into one,
Right. I got to listen. You
got to listen to it. Yeah.
Right.
It's really wonderfully done. Like, I don't think it should be as good as it actually is, but it is.
I'm in. Grammys, a rare hit. So that's good.
Yeah, it was nice to see like an award show that was like, yeah, that's not bad. I don't know how many people watched it or whatever. Like, most people are like you, they're going to watch it through clips and shit like that. But
yeah, exactly.
So
we ready for this blind top 5, baby?
I don't know. We've been going for an hour and 42 minutes. What do you think? You want to do it? Let's leave it up to Erin. Does she want to do it, or she wants to push it to Friday?
I will ask Erin.
We'll leave that up to Erin. In the meantime, while we have a moment, don't forget to go and follow us on TikTok. We reached our threshold, but we still like to grow there. It's sort of the newer format for us. And we refuse to kind of like bend into the way, like people are like, oh, you have to do this. And I don't want things flashing all over the screen. I just want to put clips of the show out, So make sure you follow us there. What I love about TikTok is our highlights are always full size there. Whereas on YouTube, the shorts are only a minute, and on Instagram, the shorts are only the reels are only 90 seconds. Where on TikTok, we can put like 4 minutes of something together. So it's still like bite size, but it's a little bit of a bigger bite. I have to tell you, Frank and Janine were so great on Friday's episode that there's so
rare.
many highlights from that show. And I didn't put it out because one of the things that we put out last night while watching the Grammys is going viral right now. So I didn't want to kill that momentum with another clip. But
right.
Tomorrow we'll put out one of the first few clips from that show. Cool. And it was just, everybody was very good on that. I mean,
so people in the chat, Erin left it up to the people in the chat, and they're all saying, let's do blind top 5.
All right, let's go.
Let me just grab a piece of paper. It's like 5 feet from me.
Now I got the Billy Joel song in my head. Please open the door. It's so good. And it's so desperate and vulnerable. You need that sometimes. It's like John Lennon has a song where, what is that one where he's just like, He's not jealous guy, but he's basically in that same thing where he's like explaining to Yoko, like, please don't fuck me over here. And it's John Lennon, so it's like so wonderfully like, you know.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
Writing music. He kind of had it down.
Yeah. Anybody know the name of the John Lennon song? I'm blanking right now. But anyway, Aaron is here. Aaron, we got a blind top.
I know it's late. It's Monday, so I'll jump right in.
All right.
Is it a blind top 5?
It's a blind top 10. I always write you what they are in the chat, and you never. Next time, look at what I'm writing. It's 10 spots.
10 spots. I want to get you a thing like on Price is Right.
Yeah.
Where Bob Barker was like a hole in one or two. Yeah.
Okay.
We got to get you one of those where it's like a blind top 5 or 10.
It's true. Is Cuddles here?
I don't know, but she's been warned.
Okay.
She can't fucking get her shit together.
Wow. If you could write a song about it, you could be like John Lennon.
Can I tell you something? I hate telling people how good a song is and like the words. I fucking hate it.
It was so meaningful to me, man. Shut up.
I just fucking hate it. There's nothing worse than like, oh, it's speaking to me. Shut the fuck up, you loser. I just can't. But it's true. I'll do it, but I hate doing it.
So this is the top 10 songs that mean something to you. No, okay.
Okay. This is the top 10 chocolate-less candy. There is no chocolate in this candy.
All right.
All right. Is this a swipe at me? I feel like this is a shot at me.
No.
Are you sure?
Why?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why?
Didn't I consider like ice cream not a sweet or something?
Yeah, cake you said wasn't a sweet.
Yeah,
we're not revisiting those dark days. Not on a Monday at 10:40.
That was ridiculous.
Chocolate less candy.
Yeah, this is all candies, but not chocolate. Chocolate not included. Okay.
It's interesting because I consider fruit-based candy to be different from chocolate-based candy.
So do I.
Yeah, so then we're on the same page.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Which is why I didn't want you saving spots for chocolate. So
love it.
I think I'm being more than fair. Let's go. Number 1 is Skittles. Taste the rainbow, people.
Love me some Skittles.
This has got to be high on a lot of people's lists. I know it's going to be up there for Cuddles. I know what Cuddles is going to put as her number 1.
Really?
Yeah.
If it's on the list?
Yeah. I mean, there's 3. There's 3. I would say I know Cuddles' top 3, and I would say Skittles is in the top 3 for her.
It is. It's number 2.
Number 2.
That's where I put it.
Yeah. I love
I put it number 2.
Only the red and purple. The other ones get thrown in the garbage. They're dog shit.
What?
Yeah, I only eat the red and the purple. That's it. I pick them out.
Save them for me.
The red and the purple.
Because they're great. The red and the purple are awesome.
Right.
All Skittles are great. Save them for me, the ones you don't eat.
Okay. After I dig my hands in there. Okay, Frank.
Can I say underrated is the tropical flavored Skittles? I feel like
I like.
I agree.
No.
Right?
They're tangy.
We don't talk about tropical Skittles enough.
I'm in on those. Now, wasn't there a whole big thing about how Skittles were fucked up in California or something? Like banned Skittles or something? Anybody remember that?
Yeah, but I don't remember why.
It was like the red dye in it or something was like cancer causing or something.
Yeah.
So
it's
half of what Cuddles
crazy.
eats?
Yeah.
Cuddles
Right.
only eats 2 and half of them are poison?
Yep.
Something like that.
All right. Number 2.
Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, we got.
Oh.
Okay, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Yeah, go. I put it at number 4, by the way. I don't think anybody cares. Go ahead.
Nobody
Go ahead,
cares.
Aaron.
Okay. Number 2 is a payday bar because it has caramel and peanuts, but no chocolate. I'm not talking about the chocolate covered payday bar, so don't come for me.
Yeah, the payday looks like a bar, but it's all peanuts all around it, like covering it.
Covered in caramel.
I got to tell you that.
Yeah.
First of all, Aaron us early on with 10. I don't think that's the last time we're going to get errand.
God.
Because she said no chocolate. Technically, she's right, but
Oh yeah, there's no chocolate in a payday.
I think we all wrote off candy bars as soon as we heard the no chocolate thing. So it was very, very sneaky, very, very sneaky.
Everybody knows that Twix is the only candy with the cookie crunch.
Very sneaky. Go ahead.
So I got Payday as number 8.
Wow.
Yeah, because when I do candy, I think sweet. And for me, peanuts, that's salty, and I don't know. I just, for some reason, I like it. I could eat them, but I don't go right for the Paydays when I'm in a candy store.
I'm glad I didn't follow you losers with Skittles, because I've put Payday in at number 2 for me. 'Cause that's magical.
Gross.
Like Rhonda at number 10 with the Payday.
Me too.
Mercury 6,
Me too.
Bird 10, Sarah
10.
8, Robin 5,
We're going to be banning some
and
people.
TD
I can
Freelancer
tell.
7.
Some people are getting banned for this.
All right, Erin, number 3.
It's Christine. Sounds like a salted nut roll.
That's pretty much what it is.
I guess that's why they named it Payday, because your salted nut roll probably wouldn't move too well.
It doesn't roll off the tongue.
That really hit my funny bone. Okay. Number 3 is a box of nerds.
Don't feel rushed, Aaron. You got to laugh out there. Like, enjoy yourself with that laugh. I like it.
Nerds.
A box of nerds.
Do they only sell nerds in those tiny boxes, or do they make big boxes? Like, I've only seen nerds in like the trick or treat size
Good point.
boxes.
Is there Costco size boxes? I don't know. I think it's just a pack of the smaller packs.
So there isn't like a milk dud size box of nerds somewhere.
I've seen them in CVS.
They're that big? Do they ever
Okay.
come out in
In
one
like-
big clump?
In like no,
right.
they come out, but I've seen them in like the size that you when you go to the movie theater, you get the box.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've seen them in the CVS.
All right, can I ask a question?
No.
Do nerds? Am I misremembering? Because I remember nerds. It's 2 flavors, and you opened up each side of the tab. Is that the regular, or was there a version where there was just one flavor in the box?
I think
This
that
is
was
crazy,
a different.
but I wasn't allowed to have nerds when I was little, so I don't know.
See, I think that was a special
That was special.
thing. I'm not sure though, because I haven't seen that in a long time. What you're talking about.
One side was like pink and one side was blue.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So
I put nerds at number 5.
number 5.
6.
Cuddles at 6. I want to say I like the 2 flavors, the mix and together, and you have them each. That's fun. But I think out of all the candy, nerds aged the worst for people who got older. Meaning you could crush nerds when you were a kid. You honestly would love a nerds right now.
I could eat nerds. I think when
You're like this reception to the rule. I think he's right. A lot of people aren't like, I could go for some nerds right now.
not that I could go, it's not like I'm hankering for nerds, but if they're in the room, I'm not going to be like, put those away.
Speaking of getting older, Paul wants Werther's Originals,
Ooh. Werther's Originals.
which is not on this list.
Butterscotch, right? Is that those butterscotch?
Nothing says I'm going to fuck an elderly person out of their pension more than somebody who drinks Werther's or eats Werther's Originals. Lots of 9s coming in here. There's a 2 for Bird on the nerds.
2
8.
for Christine.
2 for Christine.
2 for Sybil. Mercury 8. Sarah 5. TD Freelancer 4. All right.
Okay.
Number 4.
Number 4 is Starburst.
Ooh.
Oh, I have to put them at number 1.
But let me
Really?
guess, Cuddles, you only eat 2 of the flavors.
I
am
only
right?
eat the pink and the red.
Oh,
I
come on.
knew it. I knew it.
Yeah, I only eat the pink and the red. I threw out the rest.
You're a lunatic.
1 year for, I forget what, her birthday or whatever. I think I've done this more than once. I will buy a package of Starburst and pick out all the flavors that she doesn't like
That's insane.
and close it back up again.
Just eat all the candy. I'm eating the whole
No,
thing.
I can't.
I don't have a candy or a thing where I pick out the color that's, like M&Ms or whatever it is. I'll
Not
eat them
even
all.
jelly beans? I do that for jelly beans.
I'll eat all the jelly beans,
Yeah.
even the
No,
jelly
too bad.
bellies.
I was just going to say, name another candy where you can really have distinct flavors like Starburst. Jelly beans I'll give you.
Yeah. I'll eat them all.
But like
even the
nerds.
licorice ones.
Can you really tell the difference between the strawberry nerds and the blueberry nerds? Like, not really,
No.
though.
It's all sugar. It's all just a
Yeah.
clump of sugar.
Like M&Ms, you can't taste the colors.
No.
Starburst
at
at 4.
number 4 for me.
Cuddles.
I said 1.
Number 1. Yeah, that's what I said.
See?
1 for you too?
No. That's what I said for her. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm going to put Starburst at number 5. It's probably higher on my list because of how many yellow and orange I've had to eat over the years.
All right. Number 5.
We're halfway done with Twizzlers.
Ooh.
Twizzlers. I could eat Twizzlers all damn day.
Not very many
Now-
candies you could turn into a utensil.
Now, let me ask this question. Are we just talking Twizzlers? Because every time it's a different iteration of a Twizzler, it for some reason it just tastes different, and it like there's Twizzler pull and
Nibs.
peel. There's
The
nibs.
Right?
Let's do classic strawberry licorice.
Ooh, those are
Strawberry. Okay, regular
good.
Twizzlers.
Can we do a mini top 5 with Twizzlers right now?
It could be a Twizzler top 5.
Rank Twizzlers, nibs, and pull ones.
Nibs are the best thing in the world, and they only come in one size
Yep.
at like a CVS. You can't. I want like a giant bag of nibs. They're the best. They're the solid Twizzler, the ones that
love
don't have the
them.
hole in it. Those are the best.
Mm-hmm.
I got to tell you, I put the pull ones first. I love the pull ones.
Pull and peel are great. Close second.
Yeah.
I got Twizzler at number 1 for me.
Wow. Twizzler at number 1.
That's my number 1.
Aaron,
put
did
it
you
at
see that
4.
coming?
I did. And I'll just put in a little thing out here. We haven't gone through the whole list, but I don't like any of these things. Frank will attest. I don't. It's not my jam.
Yeah, I don't. You don't go in for the sugary stuff here.
No, I like the chocolate.
You like the chocolate. Well, I like chocolate too. I'll eat any
Well, Frank will eat
candies.
anything with sugar, really.
Cuddles, where did you put Twizzlers? Sorry,
I
Aaron.
put it at 4.
4. I put it at 6.
All right, we got a
Sarah's
lot of,
with Frank at number 1. Christine 3. Robin 7.
TD
Rhonda 2.
Freelancer 1.
TD Freelancer 1. There you go. All right, Aaron.
Okay. Next up is Sour Patch Kids.
Yes.
Love those. I could eat a whole bag of those.
I love them. They're at 3. I love
Me too.
them
Me too.
so much.
We're all at 3.
I put it
Yeah.
at 3.
I like
I've
TD
got-
Freelancer 3.
I've got number 1. Sarah 3.
Sarah 3.
We've found, bring this to the Middle East. Maybe we get the Palestinians and the Israelis together on Sour Patch Kids being the 3rd best candy ever.
They are.
I don't know why I'm holding number 1 open. I honestly can't think of a can. Like I'm not
man.
like saying, "Oh, if she names this, I got a number 1 spot." I'm just keeping it open. I don't know why.
I filled up 1 through 5 already.
Wow, you are a sugar fiend.
I gotta
got
call
6,
out
7.
Mercury. Who said
Call it
I
out.
like all sugary things, even cake.
Oh, I love cake.
See, cake's not a sweet. Cake is a cake.
Oh my god!
You're an idiot.
All right.
Are you
Who
kidding
wants
me? Do you know how
number
much
7?
like sugar is in like cake?
I think the
It's
butter
not
negates it. But go ahead. Next
Negate
candy.
you.
Okay. Swedish fish.
Oh, so good.
Oh, I messed
Okay.
up.
So this is what happened, Anthony. When you said, "Did you see that for Frank?" Did you notice my hesitation? I was like, "Yes, but he's wrong."
Yeah.
Swedish fish is his number 1, right?
Mm.
Yes.
Is there 2 E's in Swedish? No, right?
No.
I'm not sure. I'm happy I kept my number 1 open because I'm going to put Swedish fish there. They're
No.
delightful. They're a little chewy. They're harder to eat than a regular gummy. It's
Love 'em.
just
Mm,
they found
I
a way
like
to
them.
invent a new category of gummy bear, and it's delightful.
I should have moved. I filled up 1 through 5. Swedish fish should be at least. Oh man, I would put that in the top 3. I should have moved Skittles down a little further.
You got
I
excited.
jumped the gun with Skittles in number 2.
You got excited. It's okay.
I got a little excited about all the candies.
Cuddles.
5, because that's the highest that I have open.
All right. Yeah, I did 6 because that's the highest I got open, but I definitely messed that up.
But I'm like actually happy because like I have nerds at 6. I would definitely take Swedish fish over them. Like I think so far mine is like really accurate.
Look at this
Forgot
fall
about
from
it.
Grace. TD Freelancer used to be number 1. Now Swedish fish number 5.
Wow,
It's a big fall.
Ooh.
it's a big fall.
Mm-hmm.
Swedish fish, man, they're good, and the different sizes. You got the little guys, and you got the gigantic friggin' ones.
And then on occasion you get the non-red ones. There's some other flavors floating around there that you.
That's right.
Spice it
See,
up.
I don't know
over
why
nice.
they don't. They should name the Swedish fish like they should be like Swedish bass or Swedish trout
with the different flavors, the different
yeah,
colors.
you get a small, like the smaller ones are like bait, Swedish bait, and then you get the bigger ones are like the catchers. I don't know. See, I should work for Swedish Fish as well.
You should. I think you got something there.
Okay, thank you.
Why don't they sell the other colors and flavors more? They're sticking with that red everywhere. I feel
that
like
red is the big one. I don't know.
Yeah. All right.
You got the multicolors.
I don't think I've ever had them. I've only had the red.
Oh, they're all good. You can't go wrong.
I feel like when you. Sorry, Aaron. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say if anybody sees Swedish mahi mahi in the grocery store, you'll know that Frank and I are rolling in it.
Glad I let her go first.
Yeah,
that was a good move.
Yours wasn't going to be as good.
No, not nearly as good. But what I was going to say is Cuddles likes to go to these high-end candy stores where you get the little plastic bag and then you fill it up. And you're like, oh, this isn't bad. And then it's like $46 a pound.
Right.
There you find the different colored and flavors Swedish Fish. It's not like you get that at CVS per se.
I don't know. I feel like, when's the last time? Yeah, you're right. Well, I'm trying to think of when the last time.
Here, say this 5 times fast from Sybil.
Swedish smelt, Swedish smelt, Swedish smelt, Swedish smelt.
You're good.
It's tough.
You're good. 3 more left.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
This is exciting.
Next up is Sweet Tarts.
Sweet Tarts.
What are they?
Right. You don't know Sweet Tarts? They look like hockey pucks, little tiny, like the size of a dime.
Yeah, no, I don't like those.
I
Sweet Tarts.
agree with my lovely bride. I'm going to put that at number 10. Not so much because I don't like them. I feel like they're overrated. I feel like they're more popular than they actually should be.
They're like chalk.
I put them at number 9. I could have did 7, but I'm with you. I put them at number 9 because they're good. I could eat them, but not too many of them. I can't go crazy with those.
Yeah, too much hype.
Yeah. All right, we're all over the map here in the chat. Mercury 10, Rhonda 7, Sarah 9, TD Freelancer 6, Sybil 6, Robin 3, Christine 4. All right,
super high, Robin. She likes them sweet and tart.
Yeah. All right, let's see. 2 left. I got my 7 and 10 open.
7 and 9 for me, Cuddles.
I have 7 and 8. I'm getting really nervous.
Yeah, there's going to be a good one here.
It's going to.
Myself.
We haven't seen one, and she's got it. It's in the chamber.
I know.
Okay, the penultimate is Marshmallow Peeps.
Fuck! If I wish you had a 15. I hate Peeps.
I love Peeps.
Ugh.
You don't like marshmallows?
I hate marshmallows. The only time I will have a marshmallow is in s'mores, and that's because it's like burnt. I let it go on fire.
Oh, and then next time we should do s'mores with Peeps. Has anybody ever done? Has that ever been done ever?
Yeah, that's been.
No one's ever done that. I'm the first to think of it.
God.
You know who loved this candy? Joe Peeps.
So
see, the Sopranos people are going to get that.
I hate you. I put them in number 7. So my number 10 spot is open now.
The family name was Paparelli.
Oh, boy.
All right, number 10 is not Marshmallow Paparellis, just in case anybody's going to answer that.
I don't remember that. They whacked this young kid, Joe Peeps, and so on his tombstone they put Peeps.
I remember. Yeah.
The family name is, he holds the mascot. The family name is Paparelli.
So thank you.
And so it goes, Jason's dyslexic. He's going to fix it.
Oh, that's great.
Like dyslexia has anything to do.
Doesn't matter that you put the wrong name. No, it doesn't.
His nickname, Joe Peeps. Fucking show. All right.
Robin's rooting for butterscotch.
Ooh. Butterscotch is such an old. Everybody's grandmother just had butterscotch.
What the hell is butterscotch?
I don't even know. I
mean, there's butterscotch pudding, but what is it? I understand chocolate. I know that I get vanilla. But who came up with it's not butter and it's not scotch? What the fuck? What are we talking about here?
Can we guess what the last one is?
Okay, what do you think it's going to be?
I don't know. Oh, I was gonna say caramellos, but those are chocolate covered.
That's chocolate.
Mercury says like the little caramels in the grocery store. What do you call those? The little square caramel things. The fuck are those?
Oh yeah,
I used to love those. I should have saved that for another one.
I also don't
individually-
know what those little strawberry candies my meme had are. The ones where
Yes.
they,
Yeah.
I don't know what they're called. I don't know.
Oh, those are
And it's
so
not number
good.
10, people. That is not number 10. It's just something I don't know what it's called.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it. Nobody say it, but I think Robin might be right. All right, Aaron, go ahead.
Okay, this is the only one in the list that I actually like, and it's Blow Pops.
Oh,
I like them.
See, I should have moved those up.
I do like Blow Pops better than Twizzlers.
No,
Do you really?
I would have put that.
Yeah. Blow Pops number 7. Come on, that's delightful. It should be up there higher.
I know.
What's the other one? There's Blow Pops, and then there's
Tootsie Pops?
Tootsie Pops. That's right.
And Dum Dums
Yeah, but I was thinking of lollipops with something in the middle.
with the gum in it.
Yeah, Blow Pop.
Well, Blow Pop is the gum. Tootsie
Right.
Pop is the Tootsie Roll.
It's the Tootsie Roll. Yeah. How did they come up with those names?
How come Tootsie Roll didn't make this list? That's another one.
Isn't
That's
isn't
chocolate.
that
Chocolate. What's the matter with you?
I guess technically that's chocolate. Yeah.
But
That's an
they're all
interesting
good.
thing, though. It's not really like a
What?
chocolate bar.
It's still made of chocolate.
It's not a fudge. How would you describe a Tootsie Roll outside of it's a Tootsie Roll?
It's a chocolate roll of Tootsie.
Okay. And the gas tank is empty.
I had to put it at number 10, but I would have liked to move that higher.
Oh, disgraceful. Look
Yeah.
at this list. This is
It's
terrible.
not a bad list. Swedish Fish I could have moved up, and Blow Pops I could have moved up, but everything else I'm pretty happy with there.
I think you got those Twizzlers too high. The Twizzler's not a number one
Twizzlers are amazing. I could eat those all
They're
day.
great.
supporting cast at best.
You're a supporting cast on this show.
It's true. Cuddles.
What?
What was your last one? Where'd you put
It was
Blow
a
Pops?
7, and it
Me too.
definitely should have been in like the top 5. I could have moved like Swedish Fish down 1, and like Nerds would have went to 7 instead of 6, and then Blow Pops in 5, because I would definitely take a Blow Pop over a Swedish Fish. But after Twizzlers and after Sour Patch Kids, do you know what ones I really love? The sour watermelon things.
Oh, they look like slices of watermelon.
They're like a
Yeah.
cousin to the Sour Patch Kid.
Yeah, they're so good. I love them.
Yeah.
I
You know
like sour.
the candies that aren't on the list, but this is an amazing list. Do you ever have those peach? They look like rings. The peach ring candy.
Ooh, those are good.
They're
No.
like gummy, but like sweet. They have like the sugar on them.
Yep.
They look like orange and pink, kind of.
It's kind of
Yeah.
funny. I've been watching a lot of YouTube shorts of people who are like, how to make your own. And like by the 60th step, I'm like, oh my God, buy them.
Yeah.
Yeah, just fucking. How to make your own is go to the store and buy them. Why would I make my own? They're not going to be better than the stores.
Well, there's
Yeah.
these people now. Have you seen them that they freeze dry the Skittles so that they like puff?
What?
Like they almost become like a Rice Krispie of a Skittle, and they sell them. There's these people that have a whole business. Yeah, that's all they do.
Really?
Yeah, swear to God.
Can you do that?
And it like puffs it up. It like I don't know
Yeah,
how
but
they.
you can't just resell a Skittles after you know.
Yeah, they do it. Yeah,
Is that
their
like
whole
legal?
business. They just buy a shit ton of Skittles, put it in this thing, pump it up, and send it out.
That can't be legal.
Hey, people buy Nikes, paint them, and then they resell them. They it's
Really?
a whole business. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's huge business.
Yeah.
How could that be okay to do?
I don't because I guess I don't know. I don't know if it's totally okay. I'm not sure.
That's so
Here's what I do know because we really have to wrap this up. But because Erin made a big statement earlier that she doesn't like any of these. I would love to know what Erin's top 3 candies are, non-chocolate candies.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I mean, Blow Pops,
Okay.
Skittles, and I don't know, man. I don't think I have a third.
You don't
I
have
like
a third
Swedish
candy?
Fish, but you have to chew them forever. I don't like Starbucks. I don't like Twizzlers. I don't eat Payday. No, I can't.
They don't have to be on.
Oh,
It doesn't have to be
okay,
on this
okay.
list.
Okay, I guess a third, although it's distant, would have to, and also only because I have to do 3, would be Marshmallow Peeps. But to be fair, every time I get them in my Easter basket, I still get an Easter basket at my age from my parents. I give all of them to Frank.
Sweet.
I do eat them all.
But if these aren't, it doesn't have to be on this list. I'm just saying, like, what you're like, I you know, I'm gonna go with
What's
this
your
candy.
top 3 candy?
Oh, like
period.
with chocolate too?
No.
Okay. Oh, then I mean, I don't know. Then what I said, but I don't really like candy.
Okay,
like
so there's
design.
not like a favorite that you were holding off the list.
No, but if we were doing a top 10 chocolate candies, it would be all of them. Like I would like all of them.
So chocolate's your thing.
What about Airheads?
Ooh.
Airheads is a good one.
Like a
Those
taffy
burn. Don't they burn?
Love
burn?
that.
No, I thought those were the
it's
ones
like
that were super, super sour on the outside, and then once you get past, it's sweet. Is that something else?
Oh, no. Yeah, maybe they have a kind that's like that, but the original regular Airheads is just taffy inside, and it looks like
So good.
they look like rubber erasers, and you just pull them and eat them. And it's just
Sounds delicious.
They're good. They're good.
3 I could have put on this list: Airheads,
Yeah.
Jolly Ranchers,
Ooh.
and what about Jawbreakers?
No.
Too much work.
Yeah. Jolly
I'll eat 'em.
Ranchers.
And those were sour as shit. What was this super cinnamony ball?
Ugh. Fireball?
Devil,
Red
something
Hots?
devil. Red Hots,
Hots.
yeah.
Red Hots. Yeah.
Oh, what about those? The things that look like Red Hots, but they're different flavors.
Oh, Gobstoppers?
Like, no, I don't know. And then there's Mike and Ike's.
Mike
and Ike's
Good
are
and
terrible.
Plenty. I loved Good and Plenty.
Ew, that's real.
It's licorice wrapped in a candy shell, and I don't know why, but it's great. I could eat Good and Plenty all day.
Frank, you remind
There's
me of that character from Men in Black that's like sugar water.
Sugar water.
Sugar in water. Here's an underrated, and I know I get it. I'm in a minority here when it comes to this candy. Circus peanuts.
Ugh,
I know everybody hates them.
disgusting. Packing
I know,
peanuts.
but I could eat them. I don't know what they're made of, like
Terrible.
couch fabric, or couch cushion.
Couch fabric.
That's what they're made of, but they're so good.
No,
Terrible.
I can't.
Jamie, Pop Rocks. That's another. I will still have a Pop Rock today. That's a fun
That's
candy.
good. That is good.
Cotton candy, although
That is
fresh.
fun.
You get those pre-done cotton candies. Not as
Yeah,
good.
I had cotton candy yesterday, and it wasn't the same as like when someone does it right in front of you.
What about Pixie Sticks? Is that the little straw that you open up
It's
and
just
it's got the
it's a
sugar?
straw full of sugar.
Okay, what was the one? Was it Dip where you lick the white thing? Was that
Fun
Dip?
dip.
Yes.
Fun dip.
Fun dip.
Yes.
Fun Dip.
And with that, I'm signing off. Stay sweet, everybody.
All
Thanks.
right.
Great job.
Bye. Great.
Good job, Aaron. Rhonda wants to say, let's do chocolate candy next.
That's a good
And
idea.
Dr. Deck says, yeah, Skittles and Mountain Dew. Drink that and it messes you. I would die if I had Skittles and Mountain Dew today. I wouldn't be able.
Yeah.
I'd be in the hospital.
If you want your heart to explode, then do that.
Yeah. Yeah. At 18, I would crush that. At this age, I would be dead. I'd be on life support. People would be like, what happened? COVID? They'd be like, no, he drank Mountain Dew and ate Skittles.
I think you're supposed to put the Skittles in the Mountain Dew. And it
Yeah,
does
bro.
something to it. Yeah, I'm serious. What about candy corn? I know everybody hates that too, but I could eat it. I haven't met a candy I don't like.
I would crush candy corns. I love candy corns.
I hate them.
I was surprised at all the backlash the last few years of people with candy corns.
Yeah, I don't like them. I don't understand. And there's different kinds. There's like candy corns shaped like a pumpkin.
And yeah, that's true. That's right. The pumpkin. I do like the originals. I used to like to just bite off each individual thing and pretend like I'm actually getting different flavors.
You know what blew my mind the first time I saw someone stack the candy corns to look like a corn on the cob? That's why they're called that.
Because they look like corn on the cob.
Because the yellow part is the fat part at the bottom, and when you stack them up, it looks like an ear of corn.
Did they do it like in a circle?
Yep.
And like all the way up?
Well, like a few inches high, and it looks like a corn on the cob. It's weird.
That's crazy.
I had no idea, but that's what they are. But they're good.
No, it takes like a lot of patience that I do not have.
Yeah, very underrated.
I would start that and then just drink Mountain Dew and Skittles so that I could put myself out of the misery.
Yeah, that's how you call it. You just, you know what?
Jamie
Skittles,
with
that's the way out.
Jamie with Pez dispenser is more fun than the actual candy itself.
I could eat Pez. Pez is good.
Our kids still like hustling a Pez dispenser out of us every now and then.
They are fun.
It's like, we don't have toys here. Is there a Pez dispenser? All right, I'll take that. Buy me that.
Because they're little action figures too.
Yeah, kind of, right? And there's
little...
still people that collect Pez's. Those pet, like...
Oh, sure. That's a big little collectibles. I'm sure there are rare ones from years ago.
Right now, there's some dude in Pittsburgh that has 4,000 Pez dispensers in his basement.
You put a Pez dispenser on her leg during my performance?
All right, Aaron, wonderful job. Get Oval, link in the description below on this episode and every episode for that matter. Cuddles, thank you. You're wonderful as always.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Cuddles.
Thank
Night.
you.
Frank, good job. I'll see you on Friday.
Indeed.
Everybody else, we will see you on a Wednesday. Enjoy that Taco Tuesday, everybody.
Show me potato salad. Maybe we should go now.